Now we back. Back,
Yes,
baby.
sir. Yes, sir.
Cameron Cambo, DonteSoulPepper. Y'all introduce yourselves.
Marquise Jones, better known as Esoteric MOJ.
Esoteric MOJ.
And Pharoe, a.k.a. Wavy P. Honcho.
What is Esoteric MOJ?
Esoteric is, the definition is like understood by few. Those that understand it, they get it. So those people that are real tight in my circle, they understand who I am, what I'm about. So that's where esoteric comes from. And the MOJ, those are my initials. Marquise O'Shea Jones. Give the whole government out there. We're going to redact that later.
Shit. What you been up to, man? You had some things you wanted to get into. It was some
Yeah, man. You know, I just wanted to give a full.
Talking to Mike a little more.
I just wanted to give a full update. You know, I've been in Alaska this last year, and everybody was looking at me crazy when I first was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna move way out there to the tundra," you know. But it was a nice experience though, being up there, being really off the grid for a little bit, but at the same time, being off the grid definitely played a big role in my decision on coming back here to Utah, moving back home.
I see.
Why is that?
Cause man, like I didn't realize how far it was until like our season was over. You know, coaching college basketball. Like I didn't really know how much I was missing, how much things really were changing back home. Because you always got a phone in your hand, you can send texts all day, but having that face-to-face conversation is different. And when it came time to certain things happening back home, not anything major, but just missing out on life events, like there's no way that I can just go to a life event and then be back to Alaska, you know. When I was in Iowa, I could drive home and then drive back and have a little bit of a day's notice. Up there, like it's a mandatory 3-hour flight. So trying to get home, see the family, and then get all the way back up to Alaska. Like I almost missed a game this year because of that. So it was real tough.
Shit.
I see.
I'm glad to have you back. You still coaching and whatnot out here or what?
Yeah, so right now I do a lot of skill development trainings. I do it like personally with kids ages 8 through 18. I got two professional guys that are going overseas that I train. So it'll be nice to have that professionalism on my resume. But a lot of the coaching right now is real individualized, and I do kind of a lot of director roles for girls basketball in another program. So a lot of things are moving and shaking in the direction I want to go.
Cool. Now all my young boys, go holler at him.
Yeah,
come on, holla
go
at
get your
him.
game right.
Yeah,
Step
don't-
your game up.
Yeah, don't holler at me because he used to give me buckets. So holler at him.
You know, the
playing.
game was disguised by all the shit talking I was doing. I was never the dude that was shutting up on the court.
Nah, you was hooping. Do you got a preference of like what age groups or like, you know what I'm saying? Like what's the difference between coaching kids and coaching like, because you was coaching college, right?
Yeah.
So like, I mean, obviously like, you know, the difference would be just simply not knowing stuff. Because like, you know, as a child, you learn language. By the time you're grown, you know your language.
Right.
I mean, of course, it's pretty much like that in basketball as well. So like, you know what I'm saying? Elaborate on that a little bit.
And like that's a great analogy because the game, I tell a lot of people, it's like basic arithmetic. You know, 1 + 1 is always going to equal 2. 2 + 2 is always going to equal 4. So it's just a matter of how you want to spill it, because you can get 2 by doing 2 + 0, or you can get 4 by doing 3 + 1. But you're gonna get to the same goal. This is a matter of the terminology and like trying to build those kids out of those habits. Because some kids will learn it a specific way. Because like, you know, us growing up, we didn't have a lot of trainers to go and learn from. Like we had our father figures, our uncles, and then us watching YouTube videos or something, watching
Right.
Balls Life videos. Now, a lot of kids, they don't do that. They look to the trainers to learn a bunch, try to soak up from them. So trying to walk that fine line of giving them a lot of tools that they could use, but not trying to like put them in a box has been a different type of situation to get to. But kids compared to like professionals Professionals, it's just giving them something that they feel challenged at. Because at that point, they're like, after 18, like, you're not going to teach no player. You're not going to teach nobody anything new. You're not going to reinvent the wheel for them because at that point, their game is just their game. But when you're working with kids, you can always mold their weaknesses. Some kids are more malleable than others, but a lot of that with kids comes down to, do they really want it or do their parents really want it? And that's a hard conversation to really have with parents, and it's a harder one to have with kids too, because there's been kids that I'll talk to that don't really like the sport, but they do like 4 different trainings every week. And it's like, why?
Because of their parents?
Because of their parents, exactly. And like having those conversations with them and giving them a safe space to be like, you don't have to tell your parents right now that you don't like this, but you need to tell me, like, is it worth me getting on your case and really trying to push you to do something you don't want to do? And how can I really help this kid be comfortable in their own skin? That's what a lot of coaching is just really trying to get people comfortable in their skin and manage personalities. So
I'm almost glad you said that because that's what I feel like we didn't have when we was younger. It was a certain coaches that just wouldn't allow you to be comfortable for the sake of a system. So like I even feel like me being like uncomfortable a lot, that like motherfuckers really think that I couldn't hoop. And it kind of pisses me off. Like
They tried to mold you into something that you weren't.
yeah, I'm like, that's not my game, bro. Like I'm not you better not about to catch me moving off ball, like doing too much of this back screening and cutting. Like I'll cut, don't get me wrong, but like, and I like to play off ball even, but like just certain systems and stuff like that. And then we feel like nowadays it kind of makes me mad because people act like they're like I couldn't hoop because that was their only view of me was that team we was on, and I hate that shit.
And especially where like, yeah, you love to hoop and you could hoop, but if you never really got to like be creative or try certain things in games, like, no, you're not gonna know what my full capabilities are because I'm trying to learn how to do this over here, and I'm really built for this over here.
Right.
But even in another sense, like, I feel like in the aspect of, like, the past is parents molded their kids. Like, Tiger Woods was molded. Michael Jackson was molded. Beyonce was molded to be who they are. And I think some people get set in that mindset like you could just mold a person into whatever you want instead of just letting them choose what they want to be freely.
Yeah, that's a good point too, actually.
And you don't realize that those people that like a lot of these parents trying to mold their kids off of, or just people in general, when they put expectations on them, they go and take the expectations from the one of ones, like Prince, Tiger, Beyonce. Like those are one of ones in their field.
Yeah,
LeBron is a one of one in their field. Like you got to be somewhat realistic. I'm not saying don't shoot for the stars because I'm one of those people that shoots for the stars in general, but you gotta give yourself a little bit of humility in those situations.
An analogy I kind of like to use like about stuff like that is like everybody ain't Jordan, everybody ain't LeBron, everybody ain't Kobe. But I can always be Steve Kerr and Robert Horry.
That's facts.
I can always be Steve Kerr, I can always be Robert Horry, and I can always be J.R. Smith, dog. So, hey, man.
I'll tell you what, the amounts may be different, but them checks cash the same way. You still get the same ring once you win.
And that's what I'm saying. And you don't get blamed for it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody was ever like, hey, Robert Horry couldn't win. It didn't matter. That's on Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaq, Kobe, and Tim Duncan.
And that man came through and hit like a couple critical shots when they needed it. Got a whole nickname and is a legend in his field.
Right. And probably averaged 7 points a game for his career. But, hey, 7 points a game, 20, 30, $40 million and 7 championships, I'll take it.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take it, dog.
In the end, too, like I was saying, like molding somebody, a lot of them end up fucked up mentally, honestly, because you see how Tiger Woods, he's like, hey, it's Tiger. Like, he didn't know how to communicate his shit. A lot of people don't know how to communicate. You know, Michael Jackson was, laying down, taking medicine to get your teeth, that you would do to get your teeth pulled out or clean. Like, they be going through shit, and then we just be like, oh, they crazy, but look what they've been through. You know what I mean? Look how they was forced into something. Britney Spears out here hitting football players and shit as soon as she get her shit back because they ain't prepared for the world. All they was prepared for was to sing, dance, play a sport. They wasn't prepared for life. Yeah.
Those expectations definitely weigh people down for sure.
Even when I played sports, the best coaches I ever had prepared me for life, not just the sport. They prepared me for life.
Yeah, it's always bigger than that. Like, especially like being back in Utah for 2 months now, like peeping the scene. There's a lot of avenues for kids to play. There's a lot of avenues for kids to learn, but there's very little coaches that understand that when you're a coach, you're not just teaching a sport. You're with them just as much as their uncles and aunts are. You're a different type of family member. You're a different type of role model. You're a different type of just example. Like, you may not call yourself a role model. You may not want to be that person that is always having kids open up to them, but like, you got eyes on you, and every little thing you do, every little expectation you set on them, and just not like that little miscommunication or lack of communication can be a detriment for these kids.
I don't even want to feel like this is like almost wrong to say, but like it's almost like when you step into that role, you almost kind of don't have a choice to be a role model. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just because you are around them kids so much and this and that and the third. So I think I think every coach almost is a role model. It's almost like just, what's the word I'm looking for?
It's a selfish job
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, they are. Like, coaches are a role model, like almost automatically. Like, you automatically are. Like,
It's a prerequisite to the job.
there we go.
And then even, that's like the Ja Morant thing is like, shit, your eyes is on you. Kids is looking up to you. So no matter if you wanted to do that or not, you is that now. And you have to go a candle. You got to handle your candle and go accordingly.
And especially where like I had a lot of like sympathy for Ja Morant in that situation, but by no means did I cape for him. But yeah, you're young and you got an influx of things that you may or may not have had growing up. Yeah. But you had all these examples, all these people that came before you that may not have made the blueprint, but they added to the blueprint of what's expected for you as this caliber of superstar, and this is something you get yourself into.
On one of the last pods, I kind of was dragging him because I was like, I don't know if Ja's a real thug, whatever. That's not really my business. But the point I'm trying to make is we know real gangbangers like John Wall, Paul Pierce, DeMar DeRozan that never really acted like that in front of a camera. So that's why it was hard for me to feel bad for Ja. But at the same time, now I'm going to start feeling bad for this dude because, like, when you think about it, the Grizzlies is, like, on the up and up. They were second in the West, whatever, stuff like that, to where, like, this dude potentially can win an MVP. And now he probably ain't going to never win one because, like, his image is tarnished because the MVP in the NBA is always an image thing. It's a narrative thing. And because his narrative is already ruined, he ain't going to never win one now.
He gonna have to be on his Travis Scott and drop himself a Utopia type season.
Yeah, like he got average a triple double, 35, first in the league, 73 and 9. That's the only way he can win one.
but you're not lying, dog. Like that is a hell of a hill that you gotta climb. Like you was in the news cycle for 2 months straight.
Man, he was doing it up. He was doing it like a rapper in the strip club. Had the person that put the videos out is crazy.
Yeah, see, the strip club, I'm not really tripping on. Dudes do that all the time. We know James Harden is notorious for the strip club, but the damn gun shit multiple times is kind of ridiculous.
Then when you try to say it's a prop, it's like, come on, man. You trying to piss on me and tell me it's rain.
Facts, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I ain't Ja's biggest fan. I like the dude or whatever, and I recognize that he is one of the best players in the league, but, like, it literally just clicked for me this week where I was like, damn, that man ain't gonna never win no MVP now. And I was like, in the Grizzlies, like, I mean, as much of a joke as it was, I know they got out in the first round, but they are fine in the West. Like, they really are.
like truly, it's an unpopular opinion, but if Steve Adams is healthy, they go a long way, bro.
They really might have.
They go a long way because that's a big body beating up on Joker. I mean, you got to get past LA.
Yeah.
But AD was AD. AD is gonna be AD, whether that's good or bad. But Steven Adams would have made a world of difference for them.
Yeah, it was that and all the talking that really ruined them. It was just too much talking and too many injuries. Yeah, because I think if I almost think you're right because who's that one dude that was Xavier Tillman
David Tillman played well.
that
'Cause he came
out
in and had a good couple games.
Yeah, he came off the bench that one game and scored like 18. So like you kind of got a point to where like if that could have been Steven Adams, who is a veteran, who is a big body, better defender, stuff like that, they might have beat the Lakers and they might have beat the Nuggets. Like I mean, I doubt it, but like they probably could have still lost. Like me personally, they probably would have lost, but like they had way more of a chance.
Yeah, I definitely can see where the fine in the West comment came from, but definitely it was still outrageous. definitely still outrageous. That's like one of those truths where you can argue it, but on paper this look crazy. What are you talking about? You fine in the West, dog? You know who over there?
No, but they hard though. Like that's what I'm saying.
But you're not playing against San Antonio and Detroit, dog. Like you playing against the Warriors. You got LA. You got Denver. You got Phoenix.
That's why I think they lost. Like I'm saying, all the talking. They had to be humbled between I'm finding the West, between Dylan Brooks and the LeBron thing, between Desmond Bain talking about, oh, dudes just had the game of their life. They ain't doing that no more. All of y'all just had to eat whatever was coming to y'all. Mm-hmm. That's basically what happened. Like maybe just not do that, play basketball, because y'all are fine in the West. But you got to do it now.
Yeah, that's a life lesson. You got to do it. No matter how much talking you doing, you got to do it at the end of the day.
Yep. You think they fine now?
Oh, yeah. I really think they're all right. I still think they're all right. It probably won't be as good as last year with Ja being suspended and whatnot, but I think they're fine. I think getting rid of Dylan Brooks was the right move. Picking up Derrick Rose was also a right move. Yeah, I think they're all right.
All right, I got a quick sidebar question. Not that, like, it pertains to any topics, just because it just popped in my mind. What's the difference between signing Derrick Rose and signing Chris Paul?
I think it was No, hold up. You're saying this question with like an agenda, I feel like.
Huh?
You have an agenda when you're asking this question.
No, it's just a general question.
I feel like signing Chris Paul, you get a lot of player coaching aspects as well. And he's like a way better facilitator and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So like I think it's more of not only a locker room thing, it's one of the players with the highest IQ we probably ever seen playing basketball. He's been in the league X amount of times or X amount of years and been like he's just been there. Like he's done everything in the league probably besides win a ring, if you ask me, for a point guard.
Yeah.
So like I think signing him is more mental and facilitating, whereas signing Derrick Rose is more play style.
It's more play style? Like just being able to get out and run, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just being able to get out and run, you know how Memphis likes to get down. And Derrick Rose, I feel like, can add to that somewhat. Like, he may not be as explosive, as quick, but he likes to get out, play in open floor, play in space, right?
And that's another player that, you know, he put the streets aside and
that's facts too.
Handled his candle.
See, that's my – so if I'm the Warriors – or even if I'm the Grizzlies, like what would have stopped me from going for the either or?
Even still, I know the NBA probably knows that too. So he could put Ja under his wing and be like, "You see how I moved throughout my career," but I mean he's not as a coaching aspect as Chris Paul, but he could still give that to probably your star player.
Yeah, I think I think Derrick Rose is more like of a mentor for Ja. Whereas Chris Paul is more like an extra brain and a different dynamic on the team for the Warriors. Because, like, he's going to bring, like, a pick-and-roll offense that we really haven't seen on the Warriors probably since KD was on there. Because, like, Chris Paul like to do a lot of dribbling. KD like to do a lot of dribbling. He can be ball dominant, and the Warriors need, like, some other kind of offense. Whereas, like, I think the Grizzlies just need somebody that fits them and can be, like, Ja's mentor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, because I've just been hearing a lot of Chris Paul slander, and I hate hearing Chris Paul slander. I understand he ain't for everybody, but there ain't no way you can't give this man his flowers when it came time to being a great player, a great professional, knowing the game, knowing every little intricacy in the game, man. I couldn't deal with it, so I just wanted to throw a little tidbit out there.
And you know, I kind of been one of them dudes that's been dragging Chris Paul lately, and like dating back to his probably like second year in the league, like he was always one of my favorite players, even when he was on the Clippers or whatever. But it was cool seeing him lose, just because like he was on the Clippers and they was doing a lot of talking, and I can't stand Doc Rivers type thing. But But I think like I hate hearing that like he's not gonna fit on the Warriors. Cause I'm like, what do you mean he's not gonna fit? Like this dude's didn't fit. He's been on X amount of teams and they all been different from each other. You telling me he can't go make Kevon Looney and Jonathan Kuminga? You telling me he can't do that? He can't do for them what he did for Clint Capella? What he did for Tyson Chandler? Like, what are we talking about, bro?
Even more to your point, that's why he would fit so well. Because now you can go into the market and get like a big that's just big and can run, set screens, rebound. You ain't got to worry about him putting the ball in the hole. He can literally do what Kevon Looney does. Put him in the second unit with Chris Paul, whether he starts or don't start. But that's just another body that can swing the ball, get it to where it needs to be on time, can actually space the floor a little bit. If he needs to, he's knocking down shots. He's just a small version of Draymond Green.
See, and that's what I said. Like them two together in a pick and roll. Like the way I explained it to somebody one time, I was like, just imagine a pick and roll where Chris Paul's the ball handler, Draymond Green is the roll man, Steph is doing that run around off ball shit he always does, Andrew Wiggins is the cutter, and Klay is the spotter.
You gonna make a mistake.
How do you stop that? If Draymond Green actually want to roll off and shoot a floater for the second time in his career, it's probably not nothing anybody's going to do to this offense. But everybody's like, oh, well, they're smart. They don't play defense. Yeah, they never play defense like that. But you can't outshoot them. You got to outshoot them, dog.
Scoring is the name of the game sometimes.
And listen, you going to pick. This ain't the Steph. What he say this ain't 2016. That's what Steph said. He said, this ain't 2016. Steph is actually a willing defender now. So now you're really in trouble. You just can't pick on one dude on the defensive end. And when you do that, they're going to run it right back down your throat.
And he just said the other day he's in his prime. Steph said that. Oh. He said, I'm in my prime. I said, oh, my God.
This
in your prime?
You still in your prime?
No. Hey, you might have just been talking, but I'm not going to argue with him. I'm not going to argue with him.
I got to see it. If we still in the prime, we on the back half for sure.
Hey, well, like I'm saying, I don't agree with him, but I'm not gonna argue with him. If you think he's still in his prime, I mean, it was just 2 seasons ago where he did lead his team to a title. So like, I can't. It's hard for me to argue with it. It's hard for me to argue with it. If Jordan Poole wasn't shooting from half court, they might have beat the Lakers. Once they lost that game, it was over with. He shot that bullshit from half court.
Cancel Christmas, cancel Hanukkah, and all that.
Yeah, it was over with. That actually is a good segue because you had a topic where you said, what does it actually take to win the NBA championship even though we haven't done it?
Hey, that's why I be feeling dog. I be get my little 2 cents. I'm like, fam, I ain't never even competed at this level, but I think I know what it takes. I'm a couch quarterback, dog. But like from my perspective, all you really in today's NBA, if you got like a point guard that can get you 12 and 8 at the minimum. He get you 12 points, 8 rebounds. Or not 8 rebounds, 8 assists. Maybe pitching 3 to 4 rebounds. Then you got a wing. You got a wing that can shoot you 33% and score 16. 16, fill up the stat sheet, get at least 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Then you just need a solid big that can really that will rebound their ass off. They don't need the touches. They don't need all the glory. Like a Kevon Looney, but actually like 6'10" and mobile. You know, if you have just those 3 pieces at the minimum, I think you got a title. Because you look at Denver. Denver, Jamal Murray,
or you contending for the title.
Huh?
You got the title, or you contending for the title.
At the bare minimum, you're contending. You're contending, meaning you're getting to the conference finals. You're definitely getting to the conference finals with that type of lineup because you look at Denver. Denver had Jamal Murray at the point guard spot. You know, he's getting buckets and doing everything he needs to do. You got Joker that is a triple-double machine. Granted, he's an anomaly, but then you had a guy like Michael Porter Jr. who played consistent through the playoffs. And if he didn't have a fantastic night, you had a guy like Aaron Gordon who's playing your 4, but realistically, Aaron Gordon can be the wing. And,
that's facts.
And if it wasn't for KCP on that lineup, he probably would have been the wing. So you look at their formula, and then even with Miami, you have Gabe Vincent, who's your point guard, Jimmy Butler, who's your wing, and Bam Adebayo, who's your big.
I'm glad Gabe Vincent on the Lakers. I'll tell you that, too. I like him.
We love that. Love that pickup.
Both y'all are Lakers fans?
By de facto, Cam don't like me because I'm a LeBron fan
Hey,
through and through.
the
Wherever
older,
he go.
the older I am, like I don't even have no hate for LeBron no more, man. Look,
But yeah, Gabe Vincent on the Lakers definitely looks nice.
Yeah.
Definitely looks nice.
So you don't have like a team. You just wherever LeBron go.
Not really. Just because, like, there's so much, like, instability in the league. Like, granted, this is outside looking in. But, like, my favorite team growing up was the Spurs. Because I was a Pop fan, and the way that they played basketball, like, that's just how I learned basketball. Like,
that's how basketball should be played, is in teams like that, though.
where that ball don't stick, boy. And then you look up, or you look at the stat sheet. Oh, all three of their number one options got 20 points, and then you got Boris Diaw that got 15. Like, what are you supposed to do with that? It was tough. So
I think what I think it takes to win an NBA championship, and this is it's I'm gonna make it sound way simpler than it really is. But I think number one, it takes a good coach.
facts.
I think number two, it takes a star player and a co-star. And I think number three, it takes a system for your role players and role players that actually fit the system or vice versa. That's what I really think it takes. Because, like, we done seen it with almost plenty of teams at this point. Just because you putting the best dudes on the team, best dudes on one team don't mean it's going to work.
Yeah.
And I think 50% of that can be on coaching. It is just like we was just saying, like you're trying to put a square in a round hole that don't make sense.
And what was your definition of a good coach? Because, like, I've seen some, like, my personal opinion, I didn't like Budenholzer. I didn't think he was, like, a terrific coach. Like, how, especially in that one, was it a finals game or was it a playoff? I think it was a playoff game. But you went so long without calling a single timeout, and you had two, and that ended up being like your reason why you lost the game because you didn't make an adjustment or use the timeout. Then, like, it's kind of dicey, no matter what level you're on.
You know, everybody says that about Budenholzer, but you know, maybe I think he probably was the best coach to unlock Giannis, though. Is what I think it was. I think he actually unlocked Giannis.
You don't think Jason Kidd did that?
No.
What was
He just said no.
I think he unlocked Giannis because I'm not sure Jason Kidd. I like what he's doing with the Mavs, but I'm not sure Jason Kidd actually really put Giannis into super positions to succeed like that. Like, I feel like as soon as he got fired, like, Giannis just, like, went off. Because, like, I think Coach Bud realized, like, this is my best ball handler. These are his flaws, and this is what we got to do to win games with Giannis as our best player on this team. So, like, yeah, I don't think he's a great coach, but I do think he unlocked Giannis, though. But what I think a good coach is like, y'all about to call me crazy, but who I look at is, like, for, like, excellent coaching is, like, Tyronn Lue.
high key? Not even low key, high key.
He always make, like, mad in-game adjustments. Like, none of his, like, it's almost like you actually got to be watching and paying attention to the game to even figure out, like, what the Clippers are doing. Like for example, if they play the Grizzlies, they're going to look like a different team from when they play the Warriors, whether that be defensively, offensively, subs, all of that stuff. So, like, when I be seeing people, like, drag him on the internet, I almost feel like those people, like, don't even really understand the intricacies of basketball, especially for somebody like him who played and with the caliber of players that he played with and everything he learned is, like, crazy.
The players he played with, levels he was at. Like,
He played with Kobe, he played with LeBron, and he played with Jordan. Why are we questioning this man?
He played with the great.
Come on,
and he
bro.
seen the game. Like,
He played with the top 3 players ever, and we you know what I mean? Like, what are we
But-
questioning?
what about the player? What about the coaches that never really played, but they win?
Nick Nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, and I think he was a good coach.
Granted, no offense, Nick Nurse, if you play somewhere, like, I just don't know off the top of my head, but
Yeah,
But some players, some coaches, they played maybe good in college or something, but they never went to the league, and then they're coaches.
okay. Well, to your point, another dude who I look at is, like, excellent coaching is, like, Eric Spoelstra, because it don't matter what kind of moving parts he got in the Miami Heat. For some reason, there's, like, we write them off every year. No, they're not gonna do nothing. No, they're not gonna do nothing. You look up, they're in the conference finals. You look up, they in the finals. Like, and that's what like nobody would have ever predicted Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo got 2 finals appearances in this era. I don't care. Nobody could have predicted that.
All right, another sidebar. So since we're talking about good coaches, what realistically is the difference between Eric Spoelstra stepping in after Pat Riley and then him inheriting what he got, winning championships, yada yada, versus Steve Kerr and Mark Jackson?
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
I think the only thing Steve Kerr did was implement a system to implement a system to more fit Steph and Klay to be shooters. To be more shooters. Because Steph was playing a lot of point guard with Mark Jackson, but at the same time, in Mark Jackson's defense, he had David Lee and not Draymond Green.
Very
so,
true.
like, who knows if he had Draymond Green, we might have seen the same thing. But, like, you know, as unfortunate as it is, like, that's just got to go to Steve Kerr because, like, he really did change the system. And, you know, Draymond Green basically became a Hall of Famer from standing around passing the ball and rebounding.
So who would you give more nods to? Would you give more nods to Kerr or would you give more nods to Spoelstra? Me personally, I'm still giving more nods to Steve Kerr. And that's truly because, fam, Steph Curry is Steph Curry. He's the MJ of this generation, the way he changed it. But I don't know. Having LeBron on your roster for them championships runs and you only got 2 of them things, that's a blemish. It's a blemish.
Nah, I can't agree with that.
That's a blemish.
Because I think I'm with you by giving it to Steve Kerr. And the only reason I'm with that is because, like I'm saying, because he changed the system. It basically, like, unlocked Steph. And, like you say, he changed the whole entire game of basketball pretty much. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm with you with giving it to Steve Kerr. But, like, I don't really think it's a blemish because, like, I'm just going to say it, dog. You're not even allowed to coach LeBron. LeBron's the coach. You're not allowed to coach LeBron.
LeBron is the coach.
I mean, yeah, okay.
You're not allowed to coach LeBron.
That's true. Like, I don't want to go as drastic, but I don't know another term for it. But he's been labeled a coach killer. He's been labeled a coach killer. Like Mike Brown, when he first got back, like ended up leaving. That very next season, they got David Blatt in there. Then David
Blatt was trash though.
David Blatt got out of there.
David Blatt was trash.
Yeah,
though.
David Blatt was trash.
I'm gonna keep it a B. David Blatt was trash. I was never mad at that one.
But me as well, I'm gonna give it to Steve Kerr. I think he just showed up time and time again. Mm-hmm. When as you could, he's saying you can't coach LeBron.
You can't.
But
you can't coach LeBron. Like, for one, he's probably smarter than 90% of the coaches in the league already. So, like, if he feels like he's the smartest person in the room and the best player in the room, like, what are you going to tell the dude?
True. That's a good
The only dudes that really said that they coached him was Tyronn Lue. And then, like, you know, he ain't like that, and he bounced out. And that's why it's another narrative where I hate how people, like, when you get into basketball debates and they come to LeBron being the greatest, and people be like, well, he never had a good coach. Well, I done seen his coach go to the finals twice with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, and I done seen this dude over here is the best coach in-game adjustments in the league, but his teams don't go nowhere just because of straight injuries. And actually, he made history with the Clippers once Doc got out of there.
That's
so, like,
true.
I'm just saying, like, he's had good coaches. He just ain't stuck around with them long enough because it's his way or the highway.
Yeah, that's very true. So that's why, but that being the reason why, because you can't coach LeBron is the reason why you would give it to Spo, though?
No, that's why I give it to Kerr.
Oh, that's why you give it to Kerr.
Yeah, because, like, I don't think winning 2 of those is a blemish because, like, if those 2 losses should be a blemish on anybody, the first one's on LeBron and the second one's on Wade. I don't think the coaching had a lot to do with the fact that LeBron shrank, and I don't think coaching had a lot to do with the fact that Wade just woke up and wasn't the same that year. Like, I don't know. I was surprised as everybody else, to be honest with you. I don't know how they didn't win 4 in a row. It doesn't make sense to me either, but.
So the Warriors got a better system, you think?
For sure.
Like, as far as, like, just a culmination of everything. Because I look at the Warriors, I look at what Steve Kerr did or, like, has done since he's inherited Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson did a lot of the foundational work, right? but then you win 2 championships. Granted, you had KD for the second half of some of those championships, but you went all the way down to the bottom of the league after an injury-plagued season. You don't have none of your stars. You go all the way to the bottom of the league. That very next year, you win a championship. Like,
That's pretty crazy.
we can give our hats off to the players, but to be able to withstand that storm, because like coaching, you can't have no bad days. Like, you really can't. You can't afford it.
They trying to fire you regardless. They don't care.
Mm-hmm. You gotta be the temper head. You gotta be the one when shit's hitting the fan. You still gotta be a fan at the end of the day. Like, you can't waver. You can't go wishy-washy or none of that.
And I also think when it comes to like Steve Kerr, or not Steve Kerr, excuse me, when it comes to coaching in general, like, because how you keep going to this Mark Jackson and Steve Kerr thing, I think some coaches are better at developing players and some coaches are better at system. So, like, I think if you put the wrong coach around young players, then that team is going to look bad. So, like, for example, like, I feel like Mike Brown is a good coach when it comes to young players, just from what we've seen him do with the Kings, just barely. Or even like when you go back to like he coached young LeBron and he won Coach of the Year then too.
True.
So like I think he's better at coaching young players, but then when you put him in that system with like when it was Kobe and Steve Nash, he got fired after 5 games. So I think
that.
some coaches are better at like developing players. So like, yeah, I think it almost just like depends. Like even if you're a good coach, like every good coach, sadly, isn't gonna win a ring.
Yeah. There's only one team that can do it.
Mm-hmm. And then like, so if you're lucky enough, like I think Mike Brown knows that like he's never gonna win a ring coaching De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. Like, it's just not possible. But like
that's a bonus part.
Potentially he could go into like he probably could go to the Hall of Fame off of a win percentage and 2 coaches of the year 10, 15 years apart from each other. So like I don't know. Like it's kind of different.
Yeah, I definitely think that's another coach that should needs more flowers is Mike Brown. That man's done a lot in this league. Done a lot for a lot of superstar players right now. So
I think one last little basketball topic. This is what's been eating me when it comes to debating basketball is the better player versus the greater player, and it kind of just makes me mad, right?
Okay, let me get a little bit more on that.
It's making me mad. Okay, look, this is where it came from. I'm tired of arguing if Dwayne Wade is better than James Harden because he is.
This argument is wild. Like
I'm sick of it.
This argument is wild. Like, I don't understand like what the argument is. Like, you could play devil's advocate just if being the eye test, but man, this argument, there is no argument. I can't do it.
You could get Wade after injury and still make the argument.
Bro, look, there's probably not a bigger James Harden fan than me, but like, nah. It's just not possible. That's what I'm saying. Like, the better player versus the greater player. So, like, if we want to break it down to stats, cool, it's James Harden. If you want to be like James Harden won the MVP, cool, whatever. So, like, we can look at it one-on-one. James Harden is probably the better, more skilled player than Dwayne Wade. Sure, whatever. If that's what we want to go with, then that's what we can go with. Mm-hmm. But he didn't accomplish what Dwayne Wade accomplished with better skill.
Yes.
That would make Dwayne Wade a greater player. Dwayne Wade got the rings. He got the Finals MVP. He always showed up when it counted. And then, like, even when you look at, like, people be like, well, he had LeBron, he had Wade, he had Shaq. Dog, don't even make me list off James Harden's teammates. I don't want to do that.
Because that list, when you actually look at it on paper and have someone tell it to you, is crazy. The fact that the triple dub man himself was your teammate is insane. Then you had, in my list, top 3 point guards, maybe top 2 ever on your squad.
That's the only one I don't really hold against him because if Chris Paul wouldn't have got hurt, they might have won.
That's true.
But other than that, you know, still at the end of the day, there was another game and they missed 20 whatever threes it was. That's kind of crazy. And that's not just on him, but like you the leader of the team and like, yeah, the rest wasn't giving it to you either, but like, shoot, the shot ain't falling, go to the line, bro.
Yeah.
But that's the thing too is I don't think James Harden is a leader.
He's not a winner. I don't think he's like anybody could be a leader in some way, shape, or form, but I don't think it's a different thing when you're a winner, though. Dwayne Wade was a winner. There was a lot, like,
I think that's part of being a leader. Like, at the end of the day, like, like there was a reason he was coming off the bench at the Thunder.
Nah,
There was.
nah. He was coming off the bench on the Thunder because of the draft picks.
yeah.
I think
that team needed just like maybe 1-2 more years, and they would have took it there.
I bet if he goes into that luxury tax for that little what was it, $1 million over 3 years? If he had just done that, they'd have been right back in the chip the very next year.
I think they really ruined basketball by making that trade.
To him going to Houston?
Yeah. I
Why
think
do you
that ruined basketball.
Why do you say that?
Because, like, just if you think about it, like, way down the line, if he would have stayed there and they would have kept competing for championships, well, I won't say it ruined basketball. My bad. Ruin ain't the right word. It changed the whole landscape of basketball.
It had a ripple
so, like,
effect.
Yeah, if they stayed together, we probably would have never seen the Warriors pop off like that. KD would have never went to the Warriors. Spurs might not have another championship. LeBron could have one or two less. Like, it just like that one trade changed a lot over the last 10 years that we've seen in basketball.
Butterfly effect.
Even to the fact that, like, Westbrook still ain't got a ring, Harden still ain't got a ring. I mean, KD got rings, but, like, it's not very respected across basketball communities. So, like, it's just
he sold his soul for the motherfucker.
Yeah, like, it's just not. I think that one spot changed it. This guy's kind of.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I think that one trade
And it
changed the whole decade of basketball.
And it's wild. I could even double down on it. Like, he changed it from the aspect of building your teams and all these other players winning rings and stuff. But you look at it, James Harden being a number one option changed how players play too. Because back then, like, they were still teams were still moving the ball. They were still doing this, that, and the third. And when you had like an all-star caliber player, your second or a superstar caliber player, your second guy wasn't always an all-star, but you still had a good team. James Harden now is superstar. I'm an ISO, do it all myself. But when all that volume comes into play and he's not able to get as many wins, now you need another superstar. Yeah. Can't get it done with another superstar, so let's go out and get two of them. And that's how he ends up moving to Brooklyn.
And I wonder if, like, in his head, you think he's almost torn between Houston James Harden and OKC James Harden? Is that why he keeps trying to run the stack teams? Because he's like, wait, I've done this before and we almost won. But I've done this before too and we almost won, but it was easier to do this. So, like, you think he keep hopping from team to team because he was like, yeah, I fit with stars before. I can do it again.
Probably. I think a lot of players is doing it now.
Yeah, they are. And I think, like, honestly,
that's ruined basketball is there ain't no more pride in just, like, staying with one team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I got a rebuttal to that because I almost feel like it's a double-edged sword. So, like, we got to figure out which one we standing on as a basketball community, right? Because KD leaves and wins rings. And like I'm saying, we don't really respect it too much, and I get it. He was up 3-1. That's who he went to, but he leaves and won a ring. Now, granted, if he would have stayed and never won a ring, we're looking at KD funny, though. But then, like, come to Damian Lillard, we want him to leave and go win a ring, and he's staying, and we look at him funny. So, like, I think as a basketball community, why not?
Because I think there's something in, like, pride for a team. I think that's what makes – because – I'm gonna say it. I'm a diehard Bull fan, and I'm gonna always be like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of people is like you, like, I'm going wherever LeBron go.
And even at that, but looking at Dame, that's 11 years. Kid did off the top of my head, you know, that all the years kind of run together. I don't think KD did anywhere close to 11 years.
I think it was about 8 or 9.
8 or 9. So I mean. Yeah. 8 or 9, and you were on the cusp.
Yeah.
And you had a squad. So that's a little different than, like, I stayed down, I stayed loyal to the soil.
I see it because, like, you could say, like, when Boston had had they like superstar team and everybody came over there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was just more respectable when it was done that way because
that
there
one was
wasn't-
more
they
organic,
wasn't-
yeah.
their teams really wasn't going.
Mm-hmm.
So when they came together, it was like, oh shit, I didn't know this player was like this. I didn't know this, and that's more respectable to me than just going to somewhere where you're like, oh, I know I'm about to do it.
And I feel like if we this would be a different conversation, but if we really wanted to eradicate that, or if the league really wanted to eradicate that, find a way to get 2 more teams. Find a way to get 1 or 2 more teams into the league, and then we can spread more of these superstars out. Because there's a lot of talent in the NBA. Granted, there's a lot of NBA guys that say a lot of these guys don't know basketball, but there's still a lot of talent to be had in the league.
Oh yeah, I think right now there's there's a lot of players that is at a high level that ain't being seen like superstars.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think the Rockets is crazy.
Yo, big facts. They
Like, I
about to
think
go
the Rockets
crazy
is
next
crazy.
year. Shoot, and don't get me started on my favorite player in the league, Shot Gilgeous-Alexander. I'm taking him over to at least.
And he might be
That
the
man
best dressed in the
solidified.
league.
low
He might be
key.
the best dressed in the league.
I'm taking him over at least 80-90% of point guards in the league right now. I ain't gonna lie to you.
No, that's facts. That's big facts.
So yeah, I think you got a point there. I think I just get tired of
What if?
no, not even what ifs. I think I get tired of arguing. This is what I'm saying. Like if you're liked by NBA fans and media, you don't get held accountable the same way as someone that's not liked.
Yeah.
So like I'm saying, I think that, and even to bring it back to Damian Lillard, I think because like everybody loves Damian Lillard, nobody ever holds him accountable for his playoff losses or like nothing. But like because we don't like James Harden, oh, he's a playoff choker. Oh, he got to hop from team to team.
No, I like James Harden actually.
Yeah, no, not like us personally. I'm saying like as a community,
As a
it's
community,
not a lot of
yeah.
James Harden fans. Like
No, there's not.
Yeah.
people, they hate the way he played the game. They hate his beard. They hate his celebrations. They hate that he hopped from team to team. Like it's not a lot of positive narratives around James Harden between NBA fans and NBA media. But like Dame always got positive narratives to where like a couple games as he had some bad playoff stinkers and nobody says nothing.
And even at that, though, like, it's tough to – it is like a fine line of picking and choosing between these two players. But at the same time, James Harden purposely – I don't want to say what his intent was, but from the outside looking in, you're looking at this dude who is in shape, was killing all season, had a subpar playoff run again. And when they decide to rebuild, he doesn't want to be a part of it. He comes in and looks terrible, looks really bad.
Yeah.
That one instance in its own, I feel like, kind of shaped a lot more of the negative stat of what's surrounding him at the time.
That's fair too. That's definitely fair too.
But I don't think it's the end all be all. That man is still one of the greatest players we ever seen. Not greater than Dwayne Wade. Not better than Allen Iverson. We ain't
Nah,
gonna do
he
that.
better than AI.
Nah,
Yeah, he better
I
than
can't do
AI.
that either.
I'm with him over AI. I'm not with him over Wade.
That might be
though.
one of my favorite players of all time, though.
And,
so
you know-
it's bias. I might be biased.
And I had this conversation with, even it wasn't AI specifically, it was more like Kyrie. But players that are under 6'3", they get a higher respect from me because you're doing everything you're able. These guys that are 6'6", 6'7" can do, but you ain't even to these dudes' nipples in the league.
That's probably fair.
So AI being as small as he was, with the handle he was, being able to, the only thing he could do, or the only thing that he should have been able to do better was shoot a three. And even at that, the league at that point, the average 3-point percentage was like 25%, 24.
Yeah, that's fair. But I just feel like James Harden did everything that Iverson did, but better. If AI is a better scorer, James Harden scored better. If AI, he got the MVP AI got. Only thing he don't got is carrying a team full of no offense to the finals.
So, all right, so is that the better player or the greater player?
I think James Harden is both better and greater than AI.
Wow.
Damn.
You hear the
I would have quit.
hypocrisy,
I would
people?
have quit the basketball
You hear
topics
that?
right now.
You
I
hear
just
the
wanna-
hypocrisy in that? That is the
I
wildest.
think he's better
That
and
is
greater than AI.
That is a
No,
wild
I would have
statement.
quit the. I would have.
That is a wild statement. You mean to tell me that you just
Lightning
you
might
just
strike
said the
this
only thing he
motherfucker right
can't
now.
do is carry a team?
I said that's the only thing he hasn't done. But then in
But what's
in-
more
so-
important?
but
What's
this-
the most important thing?
But let me get
And
to
he
it.
played against two of the top 5 forward players ever.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying though. At least in Harden's defense, when AI went to the finals, like you know what I'm saying, there was nothing going on in the East. And who did he lose to? One of the greatest teams of all time. James Harden had to see one of the greatest teams of all time before he got to the finals. So like at least in James Harden's favor, like you know what I'm saying, took them cats 7 games, missed 20-something threes, and the refs wasn't blowing the whistle for him. Like you know what I mean? Like it's just
I can't let you do that.
All right.
I can't let you do
I'm
that.
I'm done with
James
basketball.
Harden is greater and better than Allen Iverson. Clipping it up.
That's crazy.
I'm done
He
with
said
basketball.
when none popping in the East, and this man AI had. No, you mean to tell me you was gonna trust Aaron McKee,
No, I'm not.
Samuel Downbear,
No.
Matt Geiger?
No,
you
I
want
under-
Matt Geiger to be
Hell
the guy?
no. I understand what you're saying. No, I'm with you. Like that team wasn't that good, and that team probably shouldn't have been in the finals. But like,
James Harden had Clint Capella, Eric Gordon. He had Russell Westbrook at one point. He had Chris Paul at one point.
no, he did.
He had
But
Mike D'Antoni, one of the better coaches of offense in the league.
I'm just saying though. At least when he lost, just like AI, he lost to one of the greatest teams we ever seen. That's all I'm saying. He
All
just
right.
didn't have the benefit of seeing him in the finals. And if we go in there, he took his greatest team to 7 games. AI got out in 5.
I'm not having this conversation.
AI got out in 5, bro.
I'm not having this conversation anymore.
That's crazy.
Because there's no way I could respect that. There's no way in the world I could respect that.
AI got out in 5. Sorry, AI. I like AI for this cultural
Yeah,
impact. You know,
I want this clipped. And I want a whole bunch of comments at the motherfucking
This
bottom.
is what I'm saying. I like AI for the cultural aspect. Like I love the braids. I love the arm sleeves. That's messed up. They made the dress code because of you. All that stuff. I'm with it. But hey, man, if James Harden looked like that, boy, he would have been Black Jesus. If James Harden looked like that and came up in that era doing this, man,
He would have been Black Jesus.
yes, he would have.
All right. What's the next subject of this
We would
motherfucker?
instead of us wanting to be AI in the arm sleeves, dog, we would have been growing up in Compton doing this. I'm telling you, dog.
I don't know.
All right,
man.
next
I don't
topic.
Out of basketball complete. I'm glad that's the end of basketball because that shit is wild.
I mean it. I'm not even capping, bro.
So wait, if AI was 6'4", then what? Because James Harden is what, 6'6"?
Yeah.
All right, if you put AI at 6'6", it's insane.
No, I'm with
It's
you.
insane. 6 foot, and being able to do everything he did.
No, I'm with you on that. Like I really am, but like, unfortunately, he's not. We can only go by. You know what I'm saying?
What it is, you know.
Yeah, we only
That's
could go
fair.
by him stepping over Tyronn Lue and talking about practice. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mess with AI, but like, I got another hot take. He might not even make my top 5 shooting guards. Low key, I ain't even gonna cap.
Hey, pull the phone out and get to the next motherfucking topic because you have to get me hot.
We're going to revisit this one. We're going to revisit that one, yeah.
The next topic is the current state of mainstream rap.
What do you guys consider mainstream rap?
What do you mean? Ain't that like, mainstream rap?
Or even you just
Anything
look at
that Drake does?
Just look at rap in general. Anything that Drake does.
Like,
just look at what
Drake
rap
is
does in
definitely a
general.
mainstream artist. Yeah, well, rap in general, but like, the underground rap and mid-level underground rap is going to be what it is for the most part. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
If you know,
like
if
for
you
example, you listen to an Alchemist album, you're listening to an Alchemist album. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's
Yeah.
not, you listening to it because you know who Alchemist is and the ground he built. It's not what's marketed out there is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I'm talking about the albums and the people you see that like when you first open Spotify, or you first open Apple Music.
Okay.
That's the artist you see in the playlist.
so NBA YoungBoy, Gunna,
yeah,
shit
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
6ix9ine featuring Kodak.
Let's see, now that's not coming up on my algorithms. You may need to get that checked.
That shit was on the top shit on Apple when it first came out.
Oh, did it?
Like the first top, you know how they got the top tracks and you slide over?
I forgot Kodak did do his song with 6ix9ine. That's
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was. I ain't getting into that, but yeah, I think. Yeah, that's technically mainstream rap. Like what's marketed.
I think now it's more about, just it's more about algorithms than the actual music.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and we are now pop culture, so that means not everyone's in on what used to be like a cult type community. So now everyone has an opinion on rap, and the shit that's pushed may not be of your liking.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also know I'm becoming an old nigga, so like.
The new stuff ain't for you.
Yeah, some of the new shit just ain't for me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I understand why people like Young Boy, but I'm not sitting in the car like, hey, just riding the Young Boy.
Yeah.
Like, one might come on and be like, hey, this is kind of cool. But I'm not about to sit through a whole album and be like, oh, this is my shit.
Yeah, that's another topic that we'll get into. But like, they're taking away from the art form by doing that, by not taking albums seriously.
That's almost my whole point. Is that like that's what the issue is that it has become an algorithm-based thing. So like, I don't know, but I feel like it ain't been like that. Like I get it. I'm with you, where I'm like the old head too, but I feel like it ain't been like that over the last 2 years. I feel like this year is when it was just like, you know what? Let's just do bullshit after bullshit after bullshit.
Well, we seen it coming. To be honest, like I honestly, if barring the pandemic, 2020, that summer probably would have been one of the best summers of music.
Big facts.
Because who released, and I can't remember who I saw specifically off the top of my head, but 2019 were some slaps. And they weren't like the main artists, like mainstream artists that were giving us slaps. You had guys that are coming up, still someone making a name for themselves, but they're known, like you throw them on at a party, you got everybody moving. You know, everybody knows the song.
Yeah, and in 2020, like, you're not outside partying. So, like, the music you listen to is different, and I think it gave a lot of artists a pickup that wasn't going to get a pickup if it wasn't for that. So
That's probably facts.
it's a gift and a curse. Like, the Griselda Cats, they was blowing, like, they were already doing good, but they was picking up a lot of traction during that time. You know, Freddie Gibbs picked up a lot of traction during that time. Like, a lot of rappers that was really rapping was picking up in that time. Like, did the Sir Michael Rocks come out in that year too?
Yeah, it was at the beginning of 2020.
Yeah, because that shit was crazy to me.
Yeah.
It didn't give it a lot of, eyes on it or nothing, but.
And that's almost like a good piece of information for the argument, because you had all these dudes picking up traction, releasing music, and everybody's going to it and listening to it. Yeah. Because a lot of the main artists, because I can't tour my album, what am I going to release it for?
Right.
So all these other acts, they get to shine, but now we're 4 years removed.
You did have, not to cut you off, you did have the demo tapes, which I think it did its thing, but if we were outside, that motherfucker would have been going crazy. Motherfuckers would have been doing the Tootsie Slide all over Salt Lake City.
I think that's y'all. I think that's almost like y'all argument, though. It's because, like, if even Drake couldn't get his album effect, what was the rest of these cats going to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, but certain shit that was outside, like the No Guidance track came out when we was in the pandemic.
But I even think to a point, like, where, like, stuff would have been way different.
Yeah, stuff would have been way, way different. And, but that's probably why they probably moved more towards algorithm like studies. Because you have the big artists that aren't dropping anything, but you have these main artists that are like getting the notoriety. They're getting this recognition. So they're figuring out, how can we get that recognition for even bigger artists to maximize my dollars.
But even then, I'm cool with, like, I would be cool with the algorithm-based music and this nonsense that's going on if, like, whatever happened to, like, I almost just feel like it's not really a lot of artistic integrity going on right now. I think it's the issue. And like a lot of these songs, I can't believe I'm even about to say this because I even hate this argument. A lot of these songs almost sound the same.
They do.
For the most part. And I hate even saying stuff like that because like I actually be listening to music, but like a lot of this stuff kind of sound the same, or like a lot of the hot artists like even make the same song over and over again. Like it's just going. I don't know, man. Like I just think like over the at least at the beginning of 2020, it just ain't even felt the same. That's why even I was just like for a minute I was thinking, I was like, man, somebody got to restore the feeling, and I'm just looking around like, who gonna drop some heat, bro? Like,
And
where's it
even during the
at?
pandemic, I started listening to Larry June a lot more than I was because I started listening to him early. I heard him on Cousin Stiz Monda album, and then I started getting into his music. And when I used to put Cam on, he's like, man, that nigga trash. I used to listen to Blue Bucks like early, and he's like, man, they beats is trash. And I think that's part of just who I am is I always find an artist early. Like I found YG when he was still messing with PC and they was Pushers Inc. and they was making jerk music.
Golly, what a time.
And I just think I just got an eye for like who's gonna blow up. But nowadays I can't even like put my finger on certain people that's gonna blow up because some of the shit that blows up is crazy to me. Because when 6ix9ine blew up, you could have never told me that because that shit wasn't even mastered or nothing.
No, I'm not gonna cap. I seen that one coming.
You seen that one coming? I didn't see it.
You seen the 6ix9ine tatted all over his face. He had that rainbow hair. You knew he was already gonna get attention. Then I ain't gonna cape for the man, but there was like, what was it? The Gummo song or whatever.
Gummo was dope. That one that he had with Trippie Redd was dope.
Yep.
Yeah,
Kuda was dope. Like he had records.
Gummo was the one that I fucked with, but I heard it's like I think Hunter had put me on some shit that he was doing in the UK before that, and I was like, man, this shit don't even sound mastered. Like it sounds crazy. So you could have never told me that at that time. And then when Gummo came out, it wasn't mastered, but it was just so. It was like listening to like 03 Greedo, because 03 Greedos sometimes they don't sound like correct musically, but he makes some slaps.
But go ahead, Kim.
Go ahead. No, you got it.
But to Cam's point, like with there being no artistic value, like that's probably why it's hard for you to gauge who's gonna blow up because there's nobody that's really taking the art form seriously. Like,
no, there's
Nas,
some.
There's some, but like the ones that do take the art seriously, I don't want to say it's at a sacrifice, but as of lately, I feel the ones that are taking it seriously are the ones that also I have to go and dig for, or people got to put me onto. Like, there's no caliber of artist that's top tier that's releasing a great album. Like, I don't know, maybe my music taste has been biased too long, but Nas's project, this new Travis project, like those are the more top tier albums. Don Toliver dropped a really good album, like, but Don Toliver hasn't really missed for me yet.
This is what I was about to say, so I'm glad you went first because like it's like the dudes that are already established are the ones still doing the album thing, like that, making it, you know what I'm saying, making art pieces. Whereas the ones that are not, it just ain't nothing hitting. So like I almost compare this to almost like 2013 around that time, because I remember around like between like 2010 and 2013, bro, I hated mainstream music, but I knew I could just go to the internet and find Chance the Rapper.
Yeah.
I knew I could just go to the internet and find Ab-Soul.
That's the thing too, is I think music is such more like it's just like accessible nowadays. Like back when I was growing up, we had to go buy a fucking CD. And my mom wasn't giving me everything, so the shit I was buying, I hope the album was slapping.
Yeah, so, exactly.
But now you can just go to your phone, find the motherfucker, but it's so easy to find like a new artist,
and it's also easy just to make music in general now.
Yeah,
that like you don't have to care about the art form. Like I just want to check. I got this Chat GPT jumping. I got this other AI platform. if I wanted to sound like, realistically, if I wanted to sound like Drake or I want to sound like NBA YoungBoy, that's what the AI system is going to do. It's going to go search through all their shit and just make something similar.
But even like if you say you want to sound like Drake, what is the Drake sound now?
He still has a sound.
You
can still know.
Yeah.
You
but
still know.
I feel like he goes to a lot of shit was hot and makes it his shit.
Yeah.
But you still, but like even
But
in
I think the
between all
greatest
that,
artist does that.
but in between all of that, you still know what like the songs that sound like Drake's sound.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna have the spicy bars.
Yeah, for every freaking controller, there's a not you too.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? For every Tootsie Slide, there's a damn shit. I don't know. I can't think of nothing.
There's a lot of think it's a joke, like just a harder rap song. Like
for every sticky, there's a TSU.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
would you say that Kanye had a sound? Or
oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it sounds stealing for sure.
You think he's?
So you don't think
this about to sound crazy?
I'm joking.
No, I was about to say that.
It's comedy style. That was because everybody was saying how much how much Ye or Travis took from Ye for this album, and like I always was under the impression that Ye took from Travis.
This is a dumb conversation, only because. Not to y'all, because I've been seeing this on the internet. I don't want y'all to be acting like I think that was dumb. But like, this is a dumb conversation just because I don't think this new album sounds like Kanye West, but I think Travis's whole style is a bend off of what Kanye West had already put on. So that's why I'm not understanding like where the comparisons come from, because if you ask me, I thought Al Pharaoh, Days Before Rodeo, Birds in the Trap, and Astroworld all had Kanye elements in it. Because that's what I thought he was. He was a different form of Kanye West with a splash of Kid Cudi.
But see, that's where I'm confused, because I would have thought that Ye was influenced by Cudi on 808s and Heartbreaks.
Yeah. But
when it came time for Yeezus, Travis had dropped 2 projects and then went to work on Yeezus. But then Travis's sound was consistent up until him working on Yeezus.
But see, the only thing about Yeezus is, for one, that album sounds unfinished, and I know it was unfinished. That's why there's no fucking artwork to it. And then number 2, I almost feel like that was like almost a darker, less musical, twisted fantasy. And like, yeah, Travis had a hand in that, but Kanye's like so good at that. Oh, this producer does this well. Let me go get at him.
He knows how to curate. I always say he's the best with voices. He knows what a voice could do.
Well, even forget a voice. Like, he know what a producer could do as well. Like the way he could just think like that. So it's like, that's how Jeezy been running around telling a story about how Can't Tell Me Nothing was made, about how him and T.I. was making I Got Money, and he was like, and Kanye heard the beat, and he was like, he changed the whole beat and made Can't Tell Me Nothing from like DJ Toom's beat. And then Jeezy was like, nah, that don't sound like my album. So Kanye was just like, yo, can I have this to keep your ad-libs on it? Like, that's what I'm saying. So he could hear just certain stuff that, like, none of us are able to hear.
Yeah.
So I think, I won't say he was biting Travis's sound, but I think he knew Travis was good at, like, them dark synths and certain drum patterns that, like, he needed to add that to Yeezus to make it sound like a darker version of Twisted Fantasy.
Yeah. I think the greatest artist could see what someone else is doing and implement it into what they're doing, just how Drake did with Take Care and The Weeknd, or even, Nothing Was the Same in Party Next Door. Mm-hmm. You hear Party Next Door all in the back. He just, like, the greatest artists know what's the next thing. But I think Kanye is the greatest at that because he could take a voice, like, that we already love, like Chris Brown, and make a Waves. Like, I think Waves is crazy. Chris Brown sounds crazy on Waves.
Yeah, he never sounded like that before, ever.
And Jeremiah sounds crazy on the one album with, what's that album with the mountains and shit on it?
Ye?
Yeah. Like Jeremiah sounds crazy on there. 808 Shake sounds crazy on there.
I think Kanye is I think as egotistical as he is, I think I love him so much because he knows how to put his ego aside for the sake of, like, the art. So like everything we're complaining about, like Kanye is like the opposite of that. Like I can never, like he never really cheated the art, and I don't even think he cheated Yeezus. I just know the album wasn't done, and he was just mad, had to get some shit off. Probably made it in a week or two and threw it out there with some red tape on it.
But at the same time, I think he'll go broke to make a great album.
Yeah.
Like he loves the art that much.
And that's like, again, I said it as like a joke and comedy style, but one of my homie Phil, he told me good artists borrow, but great artists steal. Like not like steal in a negative way, but you're gonna take a good piece of something you learned from a different artist and implement it in your shit.
Yeah.
That, or if you don't do that, then you're just not gonna grow.
Or you're gonna take not even from an artist, like you could take from life, anything. Because like even when I go through, like when I do the merch, like the Black Sushi merch, like how I'm working on the Dickie shit and all that. Like I went to like Ohio and Philadelphia and shit like that, and everyday work people have that shit on. I'm like, oh shit, like how could I make this like a style? I've been hearing that saying a lot. Like good artists borrow, but great artists steal. But I almost feel like that's almost a bad way of almost thinking about it. Because like a lot of times I don't feel like like you can be inspired and make something just like it, but that don't mean you necessarily stole it. Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I think stealing is almost like what Drake did to 10 bands. I think that's stealing, but like the way he did like what's the DMX track on Views? Like the way he did that, how you could hear Party Next Door in the back because apparently that was originally a Party Next Door song, and the way they added the beat to make it sound more like Drake. I think that could technically be stealing, but like that's being inspired. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's been a few times where like if you just work with enough people, like you just be inspired to do something, and like you be like almost unintentionally doing it like them, but it's just like
You just
it
learned
sound
another
dope.
style. Like it's just like jujitsu and different shit. Like you see a motherfucker do that move, even basketball. You see a motherfucker do that move, you start practicing that motherfucking move.
Facts.
You
Yeah.
make it you implement it into your own shit.
But-
and that's music.
That's why I used to like recording with Hunter. It's because like he made different music for me and you. So like when he would be making certain stuff, like I wonder one day I told him I was like the only reason I even started messing around with trap beats because of you. I was like he started doing that shit and I was just like, oh wait a minute, I can do that too. So that's just really what it was. So like, yeah, he could probably look at it like I was stealing from him, but like
He just
he kind of just inspired
unlocked
me to do it.
Another aspect to your game.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that's why I like sitting in the studio with certain artists and see how they do their thing, and then I'm gonna do my thing. But then you start getting into your own ways, and you might never get another trick, but you always gotta refresh yourself because shit is constantly changing.
Yeah.
And because things are constantly changing, this is a good question to bounce off of that. Do you think eventually we're going to see the death of albums?
I don't think it will ever be the death of albums. I think it will be the death of the albums just being the mainstream thing. Like, you're always going to have a Kendrick. You're always going to have Drake. Well, not always, but there's going to be artists that looked up to them that step into those seats. Like, I think a Reason is going to step into those seats.
Hey, shout out to Reason. His album come out in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think Reason is going to step into the seat of like a Kendrick type thing, and you know, like a Jid is going to step into a J. Cole spot, and things like that. But as far as you think it's not going,
I like Jid, so I don't want to say it.
But I
don't think it'll be J. Cole, but
No, I'm just wondering how long do you got till like the next nigga's not the next nigga? How long are we gonna wait for Jid to be like the next nigga for him not to be the next nigga?
That's true.
That's all I'm at. That's why it's funny to me because I almost just feel like we keep saying that every year. Every time he drop an album, no, he next up. Okay, so when is this his turn then?
And that's like full circle to the artist not caring about the art. That's why I think albums are gonna die.
I think Jid cares about his art though, because the way he be in the albums, like I'm not disrespecting his rapping ability, I'm not disrespecting his music, because I thought that last album honestly was the best album he made, if you ask me. But like,
it was a good album.
but what I think I'm saying is we all look at Jid like he's the next nigga, and I'm like, yo, this dude almost been in it for 10 years at this point. Mm-hmm. When is it happening?
Like these, and a lot of these artists, bro, they take like these hiatuses. Like I get there, you got to check the temperature of what the people are feeling. What's the
But
the
you don't.
mood
You really
be like
don't.
with my
Because
album?
if you make a good album that sounds like nothing in the landscape, it still could go.
Yeah,
but what's the likelihood of it?
I kind of see both sides of it. Because you're right. You do got to check the temperature, see what's going on, stuff like that, this, that, and the third. But like in the defense of some of these dudes that are like extra lyrical and like extra creative, like Jid, like Reason, people like that, I almost think because they're not all the way on yet to the potential that we all see them at, the waiting game that they play cannot be played the way Kendrick played it. Because Kendrick didn't play it until he was established.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very facts. That's facts. The waiting, but all artists do play that waiting game now, though. Even if you're not like popping like that, or if you're not even to the tier 1 caliber of artists, they're like Brent. Like I feel Brent was on his way to being tier 1, and for him to take that long of a hiatus and then drop Wasteland, that's what
Wasteland.
it was called,
Yeah, it was Wasteland.
Wasteland had a couple joints on it for me, but it wasn't the smash album that I was gonna be expecting from Brent. There was skips on there for me. A couple pieces of the music that I didn't like that weren't for me. I thought he was just gonna give me a great album that I could just rock with.
Damn, why everybody keeps saying that? I like the album.
I like the album
liked it.
too. I thought it was. I think.
And I think we getting caught up in the because like I almost feel like what you're saying about Brent is almost what I'm saying about Jid. I think we're almost getting caught up into like, yeah, y'all are dropping quality, but when are y'all moving up to the next level, like almost star wise? You know what I'm saying? So like if that's what you're saying, I could agree with that because like that could have been the album to elevate him to superstardom, but because it wasn't like Saunders' Son, you probably feel like that's why it didn't pop.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
Yeah, exactly.
I could see it. I could see that, but I also think like he doesn't want that. You know what I'm saying? He could have sung 1,000 hooks for 1,000 motherfuckers and became like Akon and T-Pain of this time, but I don't think that's what he wants to do. I think he wants to just stay mysterious and do his thing and then pop on his own and almost do like a Weekend effect.
That would be pretty fire. What she need something? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. You ain't gotta be quiet. Say hi. Come to the camera. Say hi. No? You ain't trying to come to the camera and say hi? Why not? Did you leave this? You left this bag of fruit here too? Did you leave this bag of fruit here too?
What is it?
It's a bag of fruit like right there. Did you leave that there too?
Oh, my son probably.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I was like, it was a fruit bag over here. Shoot, I'm glad it was yours because in my head, I was like, I'm about to go stick that in the fridge. Ain't nobody coming back. Shit.
Your mom's out there.
Yeah, Kaylani came and got the key from me.
Oh, she did.
Yeah,
Are you mom?
probably in a minute.
Oh yeah.
What's her name?
Macy.
Shout out to you for the Gatorade. I definitely drank that. I appreciate that. Thank you.
That nigga stole a Gatorade.
Yeah, see, that's a
Good
good
artist borrow. Great artist steal.
That's a good. See, that's a good segue right there. What signs you looking for when shooting your shot?
What size are you looking for when shooting your shot?
Anything. I shoot it. No, I shoot at everything. No, I'm playing.
He just shoot it up.
I be like, bro, listen, I'm a habitual checker. I'll just throw that shit anywhere.
Oh yeah.
No, I think the way I took this question is like almost like how do you know when you should how do you know she's interested for you to shoot your shot?
Yes.
That's kind of how I took it.
Yeah.
Usually, man, it's like almost like an eye contact thing, where if they look at you once or twice, especially if you walk by them multiple times, where you're like, oh, she keep looking at me.
Let's put it in two aspects first. All right, in a live aspect and an internet aspect.
Oh, in the internet aspect? Oh, no, if you find, I'm probably trying to shoot in the DM. But, like, you ain't going to catch me in too many DMs. I ain't going to cap. I've been in some DMs once or twice. Even got, like, some responses and stuff like that. But, like, I ain't being DMs too much. I'm a real life shooter.
You say you're a real life shooter.
I'm a real life shooter,
I
man.
gotta see you in your eyes and shoot that game.
Yeah, I'm a real life shooter, man. So like, I mean,
But
like,
what are you looking for too? You looking for the
Is she-
game cheeks, like the elephant cheeks?
no, I'm just like, is she fine or not? That's basically how much it go to me.
said,
Is
"I
she
base
fine
it-
or not?
I base it
Like,
on a scale of 1 to 2.
Yeah.
Would I or wouldn't I?
basically, I'm like, is she fine or not? Did she look at me? All right, cool. I'm gonna go talk to her then.
But see, that's where I be getting messed up because I be getting looks and be like, I don't know. I
But
want to.
so you can't decipher the looks.
I can't decipher the looks to save my life, bro. She got to make that shit obvious.
But see, like, I don't go up straight shooting. Like, I just go up and just start clowning.
So you ain't
like,
Mr.
what I mean?
Highness.
No, I'm not Mr. Highness. Yeah,
He go straight for the
Yeah, I'm not Mr. Highness. I can't pull that off. I ain't light skinned with a ponytail. I can't pull that off. I gotta get in the game. I gotta get in the game the way I can get in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, some dudes.
So you ain't sitting up on the brick wall going like this.
Nah, some dudes is LeBron and some dudes is Steve Kerr. I was always down to play the co-star. You know what I'm saying? That's why even like when we used to go out and do stuff like that, y'all would always be like, man, I know Cam shooting at something when he disappeared.
Yeah, you gonna go into a dark room and
But what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? That's
ask her what's wrong with that.
Oh, you said 1-on-1. Never mind. That's different.
This man crazy.
Hey man, you told me it's wavy gonna be wavy today. I said hell yeah.
So that's what you saying? I'm in the dark room? No, I'm not in no dark room. I'm
But you
just
gonna
saying.
take it off into the corner, into the mist, into the abyss.
Yeah.
See me?
What, the abyss of people in the club? Yeah,
Yeah, you gonna be in the
don't be with
corner.
the group. Or he take her. He go and grab her and take her to the corner.
No, I just wait for her to leave the corner and then I'm going where she going.
Yeah. I know. I've been out with this man too many times. You know?
That's what he used to. That's what him and Mr. Hines used to say that when Cam disappeared, I know he done found something.
Yeah. Then you see him at the bar.
That's the bag,
At
though.
the bar getting the year to me.
But that's the bag, though.
Yeah, I mean that's his bag. He knows his game. He knows his game. He knows how to play his game.
Yeah,
he's a good role player.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. I'm not about to. You ain't about to catch me out in the open, grabbing too much ass. You know what I'm saying?
And see, that's not
Yeah,
me
I can't.
neither. Like, I'm not just grabbing the ass or nothing, but I will go into the group, and I might get 2 or 3 of them numbers together. He's witness.
That's
you
crazy.
Definitely did that.
Women go for that.
Yeah,
All three of their friends, they in a group. They'll slide
I'll
you the
tell
number.
It was just it's been born on me. I don't know how it happened, but it was born on me. I'm telling you, when I was in shout out my mom, because she already know how it go for me. Because when I was in Head Start, it was our Head Start graduation, and 2 girls walked up to my mom and was like, "I'm Devin's girlfriend," both of them together, and so it was just born. That's just the reality I was born into.
Damn, but see, you get that off now though as an adult.
Yeah,
I can't get that. I don't know how to get that off. I don't even know what the actual formation is. I don't know what the strategy is.
See, the strategy is. I can't. I'm about to say this on camera. The strategy is you go in as their friend, right? If they all fine, you go in as all their friend, and then once you catch the vibe from whoever the vibe is from, that's when you move into the what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's when you move in for the kill.
If you go into the friend, let me tell you like this: if you go into it as the friend, don't be mad if you get Benzo Lorenzo stuck in the friend zone.
Yeah, and it can happen that way. Like it's risky, but like I feel like you probably wouldn't do that and go in as the friend if you didn't think it was potential somewhere in the group. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like you're like, one of them gonna do something. One of them gonna fall for me one way or another. One of them gonna throw something.
What Denzel say? He said, "I'm gonna leave here with something."
Yeah, I'm gonna leave
Gonna
her
leave
with
with
something. Yeah, so I don't think I look for too many signs. Like, did she make eye contact and do she look good? That's basically it. And then from there, you know what I'm saying? We go out once or twice or whatever happened. You ain't fucking with me, I ain't fucking with you. I'm cool with that. But
because you can't be afraid to hear no. My mom says, if you ask, the worst thing you can hear is no.
But see, the no, it's the no don't scare me. It's the what are you gonna say as soon as I walk away from this shit?
oh well, shit,
That's
it don't
what
even matter.
that would my head be wrapped around. But like,
Yeah, but that don't even matter though because
Right.
like you may or may not even run into or talk to them again. I remember one time, matter of fact, it was funny because this is when they first started realizing that I'd just be dipping off because it was one time it was like right around my birthday. We had a table at the club, bro. I was drunk as fuck, dancing with this bad little light skinned piece. Ain't get her number, ain't get nothing. Damn, fucking passed out. Antoine picked me up, passed out at his house in Salt Lake. So then I seen her the next time, and I went to go talk to her, and we was just talking, chopping it up, laughing. I was like, let me get your number. She was just like, I don't give my number to dudes out at the club. And I was just like, all right, bet. And then it's still, every time I seen her, though, I still acted like it was cool. I was like, hey, what's up? How you doing? And, like, she was cool. And then one day she added me on Snap, but it wasn't nothing going on.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing going on. See,
But a lot of shit, even with me, is I be surprised because someone just shoot a shot at me, and I be like, God damn, all right.
Oh, I
and
love
just
that
catch
shit.
it.
Love that shit.
So, like, a lot of shit happened like that. Like, add me on Snap, oh, you look good. And then I start to cut. I know how to talk. I could talk.
What's the secret code words? If you go and ask for her number, but she don't want to give you the number, but she want to give you the Snap or the Instagram. What that mean?
Oh, I'm just.
Is Snap a no-go?
I'm gonna make you laugh because I'm gonna be like, oh, you one of these new age ones that you don't want no little stalker or nothing. But no, I ain't even like that. And I'm gonna make them laugh, and then after I make them laugh, I'm pretty much in the draws. I feel like
I'm not gonna cap. I feel like, see, this is what I be talking about. Don't say certain shit in front of the camera, but I feel like anytime I wanted to snap, I almost was like basically trying to either show off or hide something. You know what I'm saying? So like I probably wanted you on my Snap so you could see what I'm doing, or I wanted you on my Snap because I didn't want you in my phone. So it's just usually one way or the other.
and see, me myself, I won't save a number. I'll just like remember the motherfucker. Like
Yeah,
I'll
you gotta
just-
tell you
I'll
gotta send me
text it,
send me your name in the first text.
And I fucked up early on doing that shit like that because you texting like 3 or 4 or 5 of them at the same time, and you get mixed up in a conversation, and you text the wrong one. Something they be like, "What?" You're like, "Oh shit."
But see,
A lot of times too, if it was women in the club, it was easier to get their Snap, and it was easier to make a conversation with them because like they would just post something, and then you could just slide up on it and just say whatever.
Yeah.
And then like from then, if they
Snap.
remembered you and they really wanted to fuck with you, then they would just respond, and then from there you could even get the number. But like it was, yeah, Snap is like a cheat code to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
it really is. 'Cause these motherfuckers didn't grow up in the MySpace shit where you was like, "Oh, well, let's meet up at Clinton Park at this time," and then you go meet her, and she looked like a booger wolf, and you got to run off.
Yeah,
There was a lot of catfish on MySpace. That was the birth of
this
that
nigga
motherfucker.
showing his age.
There's a lot of
He
catfish
said
on
there's a
that
lot of
motherfucker.
catfish on MySpace.
All of my niggas hadn't got catfished off MySpace. They
Yes.
had that just face picture, and then look down, dum.
Snap a cheat code, man. I ain't even got Snap no more because I'm be like, man, I don't even need this in my life. Can't keep doing that. But it's a cheat code. If you're looking for some hoes, man, just add them on Snap. I ain't gonna cap.
that's the key right there.
Yep.
All right, so so you do get the number, then what? How you open it up? You just talk about the club?
No,
I don't know. It's almost like a case by case basis because it's just like how he was saying. It's almost sometimes you just gotta joke with them. You know, you kind of clown on them a little bit, like even like almost downplay. Oh, I like your little bag, like you know what I'm saying? Throw a little shot. Oh, I like your little Coach bag. That must have been a little lot of money. No, stop it. I got it on a discount. Oh, word.
shit, me too.
Yeah. Oh, word. Yeah.
Ditto.
Something stupid like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because they laugh at dumb shit like that. Women is like, it's an easy target when it.
That's crazy. That's crazy. to
Nah,
say.
let me stop
But
that. I'm gonna stop that. I'm gonna stop
Because not
that.
everyone is the same. you
Yeah,
know?
no, I'm gonna stop that.
But I just have you got to know how to have a conversation.
There
You
we
know?
go.
And a lot of people don't know how to have a conversation nowadays because they were born past the MySpace era and shit. So it's like,
See, and that's almost what I wanted to say. Women is an easy target if you can hold a conversation with them.
yeah, if you could talk, then you good.
Because even in one of my songs, I was like, I don't run no game. Make them laugh, then I'm in it. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
And
You
even-
know, you be laughing at my jokes. I probably don't do that.
You know, one day I'm
He said, "I'm a really hit your ticket
one day I'm
spot."
gonna come out with some. When I'm retired out the game for good, I'm gonna let Cam record me, and I'm gonna tell some stories. I'm gonna tell some I'm gonna come out with some shit called like the Black Book stories, to where like crazy shit has just happened to me, and I ain't even asked for it. It was just like, hey, here you go.
You can't do that when you retire. You gotta do that
See,
before you retire.
It's accurate to do it right now, but like the statute of limitations, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's still shit lingering from like 2021, so I can't even really get into it. I feel like I done already said too much. That's what I was telling somebody the last time. I was like, shoot, that last pod had my whole life fucked up. The pod in the IG lives, but shit, that done ruined a lot of situations from pod in the IG live and.
But this is a safe space, Cam. We not talking. We just on here shooting the shit. We just comedy style.
Yeah, it's just comedy.
Real.
Yeah, that's what I used to say. That's what I used to say. Oh, this is just jokes. Oh, this was long ago. Shit.
You get that text, so see that shit in the algorithm.
Yeah. Oh, it was long ago, huh?
Motherfucker,
Bitch, that was
I
last
see you. I got you on Snap.
No, I can't.
That's why you deleted the Snap, drinking IPAs, listening to music and shit.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Whose house you at?
I had to
You
get-
in that bathroom.
Get all that toxic shit up out of here, man.
Hell yeah.
And there was another one on here where you was like, what do you miss most about dating as a teen or young adult? And what are some of the things you learned that shaped you with women now? Ooh, you don't want to hear my answer to that.
That's
My
why I
naiveness-
put it on there. I
My
wanted to begin.
naiveness is what I miss, because now it's like I took both pills to the Matrix. I took
No, he ain't lying though.
like
He
I
ain't
took
lying.
I took both pills to the Matrix
why
now,
this
and I
shit's
didn't
funny.
seen a lot. I
Yeah.
didn't seen a lot, and
And-
I've done a lot.
And it ain't
So-
even from your perspective of like you are the one doing it or like it's done to you. You be learning from other people.
Yeah, I didn't see my boys get done crazy,
Crazy.
and I seen how people could act during certain situations, because it molds how you are in certain situations. Because just in life in general, you gotta learn how to take your emotions out of certain decisions in your life.
That's facts.
Facts.
That's big facts.
Because I didn't done stuff for people they didn't did me dirty at the end of the day. Not even just in a relationship, just in life in general. So like when you start thinking logically, that's when a lot of shit just starts falling into place. And you just start doing what you're supposed to do. Just handle your candle, not worry about what another motherfucker is doing, and then your shit's gonna fall in place.
I think what I miss the most about dating as a teen or a young adult is, this about to sound hella feminine, but it's almost like butterflies. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where you be like, oh shit, man, this chick, like you almost be excited. Like, you know what I'm saying? I almost feel like one of my homeboys told me that he think I'm jaded when it come to dating. And he was just like, it just seemed like you don't really have a lot of excitement when it comes to dating. Like, you're just jaded. I was like, I mean, I guess if you want to call it that, but it's just like, it's almost like, if that's the case, I'm jaded with life. Everything just is what it is at this point.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Like
like
really though.
You know what I mean?
Like I have yet to like really. Listen. I'm not saying I'm shooting everything like I did earlier, but like when I do, like it's for intention. It's someone that I'm actually really trying to mess with, but I have yet to actually feel that butterfly feeling. I've yet to like really engage with someone and be like, oh, I gotta text them back immediately.
See, and that's what I'm saying. I wonder if at a certain age that don't exist no more.
No, I feel like it exists, because
It's gotta exist.
if I give me a bad stallion going up, I'm like, shit, I got it. But after I knock it down, sometimes it's like, oh shit, I don't even want to taste him back.
No, because that's what I'm saying. I think like the okay, it's just like, this is about to be a crazy analogy, but it's almost like hearing an album for the first time, right?
Yeah.
So I think like once you been in the dating pool long enough, them first initial butterflies, they don't exist anymore. Like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Because it's just almost like or it's like when you first discover a new artist, we'll do that instead. Because like the first time I heard them Days Before Rodeo, thought it was the greatest thing ever. But like now I know what to expect going into a Travis album, even though they're all different. So it's just almost just like, you know, at the end of the day, like, I've talked to women before, you're just the next woman. And that sounds so bad, and I don't mean it like that. but
it's true though.
Nah, that's messed up. I don't mean it like that, but it's just like,
But you sometimes you got to take it as
it's almost
that.
like the childish.
I take that as
the
you almost
childishness.
guarded.
Well, no, it's almost the same thing you said, being naive. The childishness of dating is what I miss by dating as a younger
the
person.
newness of it.
Yeah, the newness of dating, where it was like, yeah, you was just doing something new.
Yeah. because
that doesn't mean I don't feel good about the new person, but I'm generalizing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So does that like? So do you think like the dating pool as a whole is like whatever? Like, of course, there's bad women, there's women that you're gonna like, but like your attitude towards it is just whatever at this point. Because in my shoes, I'm still a hopeless romantic. Like, I'm still hoping for all the like corny.
Hey,
90s
man,
shit.
hold on.
Like,
hold on.
I don't want no grown man calling himself a hopeless romantic.
nigga, I'm not grown. Y'all niggas
I
grown.
said
I'm not
that.
grown.
I already
nigga.
said this to somebody.
Wait,
like a
how
month
old
or
are
two
you?
ago.
Huh?
How old are you?
I just turned 27.
Yeah,
You
you
a
grown,
grown man.
nigga.
All right, so
Can't
what's the?
be
Why is that
27.
bad? Why is that bad? Put me
No,
on.
I'm not holding.
I'm not hating. I'm just
I'm not-
saying
I'm
you
not
can't
hating.
call yourself a hopeless. We got to come up with a masculine way to call men hopeless romantics. That's all I'm getting
What,
at.
lover boy?
You a certified lover boy.
You know
That's
what
what we gonna go
No,
with.
I get what he's saying. I get
I'm
what he's
with
saying
that.
because I want the
I want to meet my shorty and then me want to do all the over the top shit for her. Like, I don't want to do none of that for none of these chicks out here these days.
I just think it's being optimistic. I'm an optimistic person. I see the
That's
glass
fine,
half
all
full. So I'm optimistic of seeing some shit I see in
Let's
the
ask
movie.
her real quick. Hey, should a grown man call himself a hopeless romantic? Oh, all right.
All right.
All right. Okay. No, I'm gonna accept that answer.
There's different
All right,
strokes
wait,
for
wait.
different folks.
Wait, all right. So if you are on like a date or are talking to somebody and they're just like, man, I'm just a hopeless romantic to you.
Yeah, she looked like she.
Oh wow, that is crazy. That's two different statements.
But that's what I'm saying though. That's
what I'm
why.
saying. They gonna take it and go straight to the juggler like, oh,
That's crazy.
I could get a full course meal at Roof Chris from this
But that's
motherfucker right
why
now.
I'm saying.
Hopeless romantic like all the fucking time. Like at the beginning, yeah, it's okay. It's cool. It's all good, right? But yeah, don't be no bitch.
That's crazy.
See,
I
but
didn't
that's
even
what
think-
I'm
I
saying.
didn't
If
think I
you-
was a bitch for real. Damn.
But that's why I'm saying though. We got to come up with a masculine term for hopeless romantic because that just
I
sounds
told you,
crazy.
optimistic.
Yeah, we'll do that. You're optimistic romantic.
I'm optimistic, romantic. All right, I'll do it.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
but that's what I'm
crazy.
saying.
She went straight from hopeless to bitch.
That's what I'm saying is that's the
right.
landscape now is you start showing signs of weakness, they going straight for the juggler and they gonna run them pockets dry.
And then, but then at the same time, be vulnerable. And then when
Yeah.
I'm vulnerable, my feelings don't matter. So like, which one is it though? And that's, you know what I mean, bro? Like, it's a lose-lose situation
Yeah.
with women.
As
And
a-
that's why when I seen the second question, what are some things that you learned that shaped you with women now? Is that what you do for a woman doesn't matter. It matters how it makes her feel. That's the
people in
most
general.
important thing. No, it's not. That's the most important thing when it comes to dating women is how does it make them feel? Because you could do everything right, but if it don't make them feel good, it doesn't fucking matter, bro.
Yeah. Because I didn't see women
Because if a man is unhappy, he would just stick it out because he like you. If a woman is unhappy, and all hell.
All right, I'm gonna refute that because if a man is doing that, that is a emotional. What's it called? Basically, what it boils down to is you can't trust them. You can't trust them in any way, shape, or form, like with any type of relationship, whether it's friendship, actually in a relationship, because you're gonna do something that's against what you want to do for the sake of someone else versus you just staying 10 toes to yourself. If you stay 10 toes to yourself and you're not just going to do all that, then I would be able to trust you more because you're just going to stick to you and you're just always going to be you versus sticking it out with a shorty that you know you're not happy with.
But it's not that I'm not happy with her, is that we're just at a point where we're working through some shit.
Yeah, because
That's why love don't even last no more in this generation because nobody want to work through shit.
yeah,
well,
you
that's
don't
true,
you don't
but-
never want to stick it out. Not because I talked about this on the first podcast I ever was on is I was like there's no women like my grandma that went through like niggas having other women and not saying that's healthy, but I'm just saying like it's even in the point of sports how I said no one wants to stick it out on the team no more. But not saying like do some toxic crazy shit and da-da-da-da, but like say you lost your job just because you got furloughed. And now your shorty like, I'm taking care of your ass. oh no, you gotta go, nigga. Like, no one wants to go through the rough times with you. They just want to see you at
That's facts.
at the top.
Right.
That's facts.
And then, but no, that's what I'm saying is like, but in the old days, it was crazy. Because
Nobody want to stick around if I go fuck another bitch.
no, but some of them will still.
That's comedy. Hey, ladies.
The craziest thing is, if you got $1 million, they're gonna stick out as many bitches as you fuck. And that's a proven fact.
You got a point.
You know what I'm saying?
You
Like, if you taking care of business, you can fuck whatever you want. And they still go just
you
stay
buy her a
there.
Birkin, she shut up.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But who's
This
just
guy
sticking
is
it out?
comedy.
Who's
Oh
just
my God.
sticking it out for like just the pure
But
For the sake
that
of
is
love.
true.
Yeah, just
That
for
is
the sake
true.
of love.
Yeah, like growing. I guess I'm still growing up, and now that I've changed my stance,
you're
of being
forever
optimistic.
gonna be growing up.
Yeah.
Well, now that I'm changing my stance of being optimistic now, I always thought the idea of finding somebody is like growing into it, right? So whenever y'all start dating, like you have to go through these trials and tribulations, and I'm not saying you have to stick it out, but when you guys actually make it official and you give each other these titles, yeah, you have to stick it out more so.
I think, and also I think like, sometimes I don't even think women are actually ready for a man who like actually got his shit together either though.
Yeah.
Cause even to make it personal, like I told the chick I'm talking to, I was like, I really don't need a woman to do it. Like any kind of like provider for me, like no nothing. Like I'm gonna get me regardless. What I need for you is to get you so we could be a team. Because that's what I feel like a relationship is. It's like a teammate thing. And when people be like, oh, I want somebody to go 50-50. I want somebody to go 50-50. What people don't understand about 50-50 is if I don't have 50 and I only got 30, that means you got to give 70.
That's a fact. That is an absolute fact.
Yeah, and that's the thing is what I'm saying is when you don't have that, that's when they be like, oh, nigga, whatever.
Right.
And then they go to the next nigga and then he don't have it and then it's like, okay, now you 40 years old and you confused still.
Wait, are we talking about like you don't have it as far as like a
Any-
materialistic thing, or you
No.
just having like yourself set?
You don't have yourself together. Like it could be a money thing, it could be where you live thing, but like everybody has their own like starting point, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's just like since I don't really need like a woman's help with like any finances, like none of that shit, if I could see you making the steps of getting yourself together, that will make me stay around and be your support system, your teammate, your cheerleader, whatever. And I feel like a lot of women won't actually stick through that when it comes to a dude.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
I feel because they want us. I would feel like maybe it's just the women I've been encountered with, but they want a finished product, and you know where
But we supposed to accept them how it is though.
yeah, like
and that's what I said on that one podcast. It's like if a nigga fuck up, it's like, oh nigga, you fucked up. A girl fuck up, they got everybody caping for him saying, well, sis, they this, and this.
Yep.
They got a word for everything.
It's a whole support system. Yes, bitch, you heal, sis.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
you're
you
just
fucked 12
healing.
niggas while you was with him. You know what I mean? You a dirtbag, bitch.
No, I was just
You gotta
healing.
accept that.
No, I was just healing. That's what they can lean on healing. Like that's why I even like, man, I remember having this conversation with like I think it was my dad even where I was like, man, I was like how women get mad that like men have double standards because we could just go out and fuck anything and not looked at it as a whore. Women got double standards to where like they could just do anything and just be an emotional wreck and it's cool. But in the sake of healing or in the sake of I wasn't happy, I gotta eat that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not fair.
Yeah.
they don't have that A word that we got in our Rolodex.
Accountability.
Accountability.
I don't know if they got
The
that.
word of a day.
I don't know if they got that one. There's some that do. That's why like a lot of the girls that I'm true friends with, like it makes me optimistic because I'm like, well, fuck, I know 8 of
But
you
you
just
only
off the
know
strength.
them at a friend aspect.
Right.
You don't see
I don't
them
know.
at that other 20. You only see the superhero with the cape on. You don't see it without.
Well, they hold themselves accountable. Like I've seen, like though I see them as friends, I've also seen them in like certain situations with guys or certain situations, just in general that would be consistent with who they are and what their morals and their ethics are. Like you can see little things where they'll take accountability for X, Y, and Z.
If she come here, we're gonna ask her the same question.
Yep.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, it's hot as a mug in here. Hey, we got a question for you. Because we're almost done and y'all keep walking in. Should a man call himself a hopeless romantic?
Yeah,
Oh, you think so?
we're not.
That's what I said too. Why not?
I think we got to come up with a more masculine term for hopeless romantic. I feel like that's some women.
If a man is to tell you like you're trying to get to know him and he's like, yeah, you know, just
Hopeless romantic, you're like, aw, well, how much money do you make?
that's alrighty.
What did I tell you?
the clip we
What did
needed.
I tell you? That's
this is a
great. That's great. Now I'm a guru.
You're hopeless romantic. Okay, that's fucking great. You're soft.
soft.
Yeah, I was like, don't be my little bitch. So I like hard, I like hard ass dudes. You know what I mean? Like,
Like her husband, like, is in prison and shit.
He's in prison and shit.
No.
Yeah, like you gotta have somebody that's gonna tell you what to do in a way that's like respectful.
Not always.
Tell you
Sometimes not always. You're right, not always. Like, but like females do a lot too. You know what I mean? Like they take care of the kids. They like make sure your house is clean. They cook you dinner. They also work. I also work. You know what I mean? So like when he comes home and he's like, nothing's vacuumed, just now. When I'm like, bro, I worked harder than you did.
so you live with him and you've been together for a longer period of time, right?
6.5 years.
6.5 years. When you first dated him.
No, he was the same way. He was like, I want the fucking house clean, I want the dishes done, I want like a good ass.
So he's not a hopeless romantic, in other words.
I want a good ass cooked meal, you know what I mean, like that. And it's like, okay, that's cool, as long as you bring to the tip too. I want the lawn mowed, you know what I mean? Like I want the mail checked. I want you to make sure that all the electrical shit, whatever is going on in the house, like is fixed too. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna sit here and like work my ass off, make sure you got food, whatever. But you better make sure that the house is taken care of too. Like the lawn better be mowed, this better be good.
That sound like an even trade off to me though. Like
Yeah.
I'm with that.
A
Like,
fair
I'm-
trade.
Yeah, that's a fair trade.
But it's not always a fair trade.
No, it's not always a fair trade because guys expect more from a woman than a woman can give. How am I gonna work all goddamn day? I make 25 bucks an hour, okay? 25 bucks an hour. 40 hours a week, right? But I still need to go grocery shopping, make sure the meal's cooked, make sure the kids are taken care of, make sure, and then it's like I have to delegate to him, like, okay, go mow the lawn, go weed eat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he can't figure it out himself to go do all that shit. Like, I have to delegate to that. So it's like I'm working a full-time job. I'm also taking care of the kids. I gotta tell him what the fuck to do.
You gotta manage him.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. You gotta be a manager. And I didn't understand that until I was a fucking manager. And that's how it is with your kids, okay? I made him get down, so our air conditioning quit working today, right? So my landlord was like, I'm coming over. Okay, well, the landlord's coming over. We have 3 Rottweilers that he lets us have. We gotta make sure this house looks good. You know what I mean? We gotta get down, we gotta clean baseboards, we gotta vacuum everything, we gotta vacuum the stairs. The spots that he's gonna be in, right? We gotta make sure that that looks good. Because if you don't look good to your landlord, and he lets you have 3 Rottweilers with a $500 deposit and that's it, he's gonna be like, you know what I mean? And like, my female's pregnant, we're gonna have puppies soon, in the next couple, in September we're having puppies. So it's like, he did me a solid by letting me live here and whatever, you know what I mean? So it's like, I gotta make sure that he is happy too when he comes over. And it was some dumb shit too. It was like, we needed to change the filter in the furnace and reset the breaker to get the air conditioner to work. You know? We got like an acre, you gotta mow the lawn, you know what I mean? Like, you just gotta make sure it looks good for your lawnmower when he comes over, so he's not like, I don't know why you guys live here no more. You know, so I got my kids going at it, and they're mad, you know? So today I was like, I don't even want to take you guys to the pool. You just piss me off. Like, you guys can stay at fucking home. I'm gonna go enjoy myself by myself, and you guys see me soon. But, anyways, I hope that helped your guys' podcast.
You go ahead and enjoy yourself. We appreciate the content. We appreciate it. See, she gave some insight. That's what a relationship really sound like. Is that
a real one.
So men, don't be a bitch.
You got to be a real
Don't be
man
a
and cut
bitch.
the motherfucking grass.
Apparently, I was a bitch up until today.
And that's some.
Apparently.
That's
comedy.
That's something I learned from my grandpa type shit. It's like he used to be like, nigga, I'm gonna hit you in the back of the head if I gotta ask you to take the trash out. You should just see that motherfucker and take it out. So like me, if I see it, it just gotta be done.
Yeah, and then, even I think like,
But what if
even like not how this hopeless romantic shit. I'm still on that. How they saying like they calling it a bitch, and like obviously that's rude, but like I think the premise of what they're
saying-
almost trying to say is when you think more, a hopeless romantic is like almost being more emotional than is logic. So I think, and that's what I was trying to say is like when you get too emotional with women, they say stuff like that. Don't be no bitch, but you got to be vulnerable. But then you be vulnerable. Oh, you a bitch. So like you almost in a lose-lose situation.
so?
That's what I was almost trying to prove.
But that's why like I want to date, but I can't put no stock into dating because like it's not that I definitely I'll admit I feel my emotions a lot, but I'm not gonna be like walking around here fucking pouty. I'm not gonna do what needs to be done. Like I'm gonna still do what I need to do. I'm gonna handle my shit. But fuck, if I wanted to like. If I want to talk about something that's bothering me or like something that's been heavy on my mind that doesn't pertain to you, it's just something personal, I want to be secure in being able to have that conversation, but you can't have that no more because they see it as weakness. They see it as X, Y, and Z, and I can't
Yeah,
subscribe to
but
that.
you gotta choose your battles.
But I had told a woman not too long ago, I was like, because like how they always say that shit, like open up to me, blah, 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 this and that. But my response was, hey, you got to create a safe space for that to happen. Don't have me out here saying shit and it's nothing. Don't have me out here saying shit and trying to use it against me. Like, you want an open man, create the safe space for an open man.
Yeah,
That's how I see it. To be honest with you.
See, and I can't toe that line because as soon as like I don't want to say as soon as, but I always feel like I can't. If it doesn't feel like that safe space, I'm not even just going to entertain it at all.
yeah.
Like, why would I put some time and energy more than what's required to just get the basis of getting to know you?
No, I got you. But for me personally, to defend myself, I don't really open up to people like that anyway. So when they ask stuff like that to me, I think it's a valid ask.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to. So that's like what I was trying to get to that, and I lost my train of thought. But like when it comes to not being open, how do you not be open and still have those conversations, or still try to like make it entertaining, but something that you actually still want to do? Because as soon as I'm turned off, or I feel like we can't do that, or I can't have no conversation, I'm not going to engage at all.
But see, that's just me in general, is to not open up. So like, see, this is why I can't be saying stuff like this in front of a camera. But like, that's just me in general to like not open up. So like, I'll open up to a woman, but be very vague, and I think it bothers them. So that's why they be like, oh, you need to open up a little more. That's when I'll just be like, hey, create the safe space. Let me know I can trust you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to, but like,
And I
at
ain't
the
never
same
even
time,
said
like,
that.
I'm like, pride myself on being like tough. So like, you ain't about to catch me crying in a woman's arms or nothing like that. But like,
Right.
if you really want me to be open with you, like create the safe space. Because like when the safe space is not created and you come at me with negative energy, the only way I know how to do is come back with it. I don't want to do that. Nobody want to argue with their girl all day. I don't argue with women anymore. I cut a girl off for a couple years. Last year, I think it was, or maybe the year before that. It was a year before that, where I was just like, look, I'm not about to argue with you. I don't argue with women anymore. She was hot about it, and we ain't really talked since.
Yeah. But
That's a bar though. You got that off? That's a
with,
I
bar.
did,
with me,
That's a
dog.
bar.
with me, I'm bad at communication. Even as much as I talk, I'm bad at. Well, I don't talk to everybody because I don't trust everybody, and I just come from an area. I just come from a space where everybody. You just know that everybody's not your friend.
Yeah.
And then also like I think certain shit should just be understood, but everyone wasn't raised like me, and so I used to project myself on everybody else, and that was my issue. My major issue is like I project what I would do to someone else, like for someone else to do that for me, and
Fair.
I have to voice that. I realize I have to voice the things I want, and if I don't get them, then that's when we have a talk about that's an issue. Type thing.
All right, and then did you have something else you want
No,
to
no,
answer?
go
that?
ahead. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to change the topic, but if you got something else
No,
you want to
change
answer that, because I think all of this kind of ties into the last thing you said about like how people need to practice forgiveness.
Yes. People need to.
And I almost want you to elaborate on that because, like, to be completely honest with you, there ain't no forgiving bone in my body, dog.
Yeah, because if you watch his shit, he's talking about I'm running over cousins with trains.
Yeah,
nigga.
I said that nigga could go play in the train tracks. He said, "You want him to die? Yeah, he just as good as dead to me in my brain. Fuck it." So like I did, yeah, that's something I need to work on. So I need to hear this.
So like, well, I just think of like, for practicing forgiveness is like not holding on to it. Like, if you still have that animosity for whatever big or small thing somebody did to you, like it's not gonna change. It's not gonna have no effect on what you do for your regular everyday life. Yeah. At this point, at this juncture, being X many days, weeks, months, years removed from the situation, it's not gonna do nothing for your psyche. But just being able to go and say like, oh, you know what, I'm over it. I forgive you. Like it's just the fault of us being humans. The fault of us being man is we're destined to fuck up. We're destined to do something that somebody doesn't like because we're all so different. But why would I hold that so hard? Because that holding that onto it is doing nothing but hurting the next person I'm in contact with, hurting the person that they are coming in contact with. Like that kind of ripple effect that goes into your relationships when you don't forgive.
See, but I think my issue with forgiveness is in my brain, for some reason, I can't separate forgiveness and reconciliation.
Yeah, that's it. That's his thing because he was always like, I have to have a conversation before I let something go.
Right.
And I'm like, see, I'm the type of person is even if I don't forgive him, I just have to cope with the situation at least. Mm-hmm. Because even if I don't cope with the situation, I'm always holding that.
Yeah. See, and I can feel that. I wouldn't say cope, because in my head, cope is like, I'm going to just find a way to get through it. Like, whatever it is, I'm going to just find a way to tough it out and get past the situation.
Yeah, but some shit you just have to cope with.
Like, some things you do, but like some things you do, but I'm talking about like when somebody really affects you, or like they do something to you and you perceive it as such. Like, not something that you have no control over and that other person had no control over. Like someone has control over the situation and they do something to you and you feel some type of way about it. Like I'm not going to hold on to that and like hold it against you forever. I'll remember it, but at some point, like I can't keep holding on to that negative animosity, that negative feeling I had. I have to forgive and I have to just let it go and move on.
But
I got you, and I understand that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I can't separate forgiveness and reconciliation because, like, even when I'm saying shit like, "Hey, he can go get ran over by the train tracks," like, I really don't really feel animosity towards him. Basically, what I'm really trying to say is, he's good as dead. He good as dead in my mind. He good as dead in my life. That's basically what I really mean when I say stuff like that. But like.
the
in
way
my
he
head,
came off is crazy.
Yeah, no, but I do that on purpose. But like, what I'm trying to get at is like I'm saying, I can't separate forgiveness and reconciliation, and I think that's why I will always be saying, nah, this shit ain't over. Like, I need to have this conversation because I don't think people should just be able to do you wrong or treat you any type of way, and you just get to run away from the situation and not address it. That's some bitch nigga shit.
On whose part?
Theirs.
Them
Like if somebody do you wrong and like it's never like yo, my bad, and like we can't have a conversation with it like man, I think that's some bitch shit.
No, I let that go by the wayside because if
I
you
can't do that, bro.
if you feel like but maybe that's just the way that this end of the pod is trending, just seeing my B word tendencies. But like
No, I'm not.
But like I'm not saying you said that, but like when I come into those situations, I'm quick to just move on because, all right, if you felt comfortable doing that fucked up thing or whatever I perceived as fucked up to me, you don't care about nobody. And at this point, I'm not interacting with nobody that's not an adult. And there's gonna be no reason for me to try and change you, and we're at this point in juncture. And we don't have the relationship to where I feel like it's worth my time trying to change you, or it's worth my time trying to give you this perspective or this peace of mind.
Yeah,
If you just
well,
don't
I
want the
think-
peace of mind, I'm gonna just move on and just keep about my day and just keep whatever goodness I have or whatever kind deeds that I just do on the daily for people in my corner. I'm just not gonna do them for you no more, and you just don't exist.
But even
You say it that way, I could respect that, and I could even see, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you saying that even kind of give me a different perspective on it. Like, no, I could agree with that. What was you gonna say though?
I think it depends on the magnitude of what happened, what transpired, because there's some motherfuckers like, well, like I said, I'm optimistic, and that's just in life in general.
Right.
So like, I didn't had real beefs with motherfuckers, and Cameron is a witness. Like, shit, something happened not too long ago, and someone made a joke, and I was like, man, that's not funny, and even though we had like real life beef, like real shit happened, and like I'll never forget it. I never really talked to the person again. Well, I could never talk to the person again now.
Yeah,
but,
he not with us no more.
But I can't
Speak ill about him.
speak ill about him still. Like, he's a dead. Like, I don't wish nothing upon the dead.
Right.
Or I didn't even wish nothing bad to that person. At the time where certain shit transpired, I was like, oh yeah, shit's gonna get there. But it never got there, and I just see it in a different. I see shit in a different light. Like, even now that I'm older, when you have kids and certain shit, you just see shit differently, and you understand like that. Not everything you're gonna forgive, but you could at least cope with the situation, because it depends on the magnitude of what happened.
See, I think even that's true too. But I think even after like hearing him speak, and I think that's why I was even trying to like preface the fact that like forgiveness and reconciliation is almost the same thing to me. Like, I feel like if I forgive you, that mean we good and we could just
Yeah, we could
almost pick up
coexist.
where we left off type thing, and I don't really agree with that at all.
Oh, yeah,
So I almost think the way you explained it, like, you know, you're right, and I
Yeah.
think like that's how I probably need to move going forward, is probably not even spend so much energy on it, because like you got a point, like, oh, if you're gonna do that to me, who knows what you're doing to your cousin, your mama, your kids, like, who knows? So like, yeah, I mean, I could respect that for sure.
I definitely see a lot of forgiveness is all like personal. Like, it's not, I'm not going to forgive you so our relationships are good. No, I'm going to forgive you because I want my peace of mind.
Yeah.
I want to be able to get to the point to where like I'm not thinking about the situation no more. I'm gonna remember it, but like, it's when something fucked up happens to you, you like hold on to it. You're like, I'm not gonna let it go.
My mom said that same thing to me about forgiveness. It's like, forgiveness ain't for the other person. It's for you. And I
feel like that's some
it
Oprah shit sometimes.
I argue it every time she ever said that. But like, that's what I'm saying. But like, the way you explained it, like, you know, it almost be like, damn, I gotta go tell my mom she was right.
Yeah, like you carrying that energy with you, like.
Yeah, it's almost like I gotta go tell my mom she was right, man.
She gonna be like, boy, I gotta hit you again.
Yeah.
'Cause you don't be listening.
For the second time today. Oh, you just don't listen, huh?
And some things I think, like, even the magnitude of shit, like the time when like as time goes by, and as you get older, you just learn, you just kind of forget about it. Not forget about it, but like you just kind of come to terms with everything.
Yeah, and there's a lot of magnitudes. Like, I agree. Like, if you do something wild, like absolutely wild, nah, it's up and it's gonna stay there for sure.
Yeah.
But like, I just don't see the point in having so many beefs. Like, not saying that beef is normal, but you have those people that you do something to them or something to you and it's a beef, no matter what. Every time I see him, all my energy shifts. Like, I don't want that. I don't want to be out with my niggas and then all of a sudden I see my ex-girlfriend and then my whole energy is fucked up. Now all my niggas is not having a good time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that.
And it's just that Larry June shit where it's like, shit, you can't be in your emotions. You gotta learn how to live life and make decisions not based off emotion sometimes.
That's probably why another part of me is optimistic too, because I'd be quick to not raise the stakes. Because as soon as I raise the stakes in whatever situation or I put it up there, it's gonna be up there. Like I'm not coming down. So like, so as soon I'm telling you, bro, as soon as I get into a situation and that shit is getting hot and it's going up, nah, I'm taking it to the next level.
Yeah.
That's comedy.
Why are you laughing at?
Because I just thought
That shit
it
probably,
was.
actually, you know what? We gonna watch the film. That shit probably sounded crazy. I
mean, you could just say pause, but I wasn't even thinking it like that. It was just, I felt like he just,
crazy now that
I
you
just
said
felt
pause.
like he turned his, I felt like that was random.
No, 'cause no,
no, I got it, but like that animosity, like you was so hot. He said, no, when that shit is up, oh, it's all the way here. I was like, damn.
Because right
nigga's
there,
mad.
because that's my problem, bro. Like I'm not an angry person, but as soon as I'm mad, bro. I can't rationalize it. I'm a bull in the china shop. It's over with. That's why I'm quick to walk away from shit. As soon as you make me mad, or I feel like some type of way, or I realize I'm in my emotions.
I need to learn that.
No.
I need to learn that because even at the palace when someone said something, man, it was just like some simple shit. I was like, well, shit, we can go outside. I'm good.
Nah, he was being weird though. He was
Yeah.
being weird. He was being weird, even down to the fact that like he was DMing that girl talking about them niggas are some fake niggas. They not really banging.
Yeah, but I said
He
let's
was
go
being-
outside. So show me you really doing that, or I'm gonna lift up your skirt and I'm gonna just show that little slit you got right there.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was being weird though. So like, I was with you on that.
Yeah.
Especially when I seen him the week after that when I was outside by myself, or 2 weeks later when I was outside by myself after he was in old girls' DMs talking about we some soft ass niggas and ain't gonna do shit. And he called me outside by myself and ain't do shit.
That's crazy.
Fuck nigga.
No, I had encountered him one more time, and I said I gave you the fair one, and I will oblige. I'll still give it to you if you want it. like, cause shit, I'm a humble beast, man. I'm a humble motherfucker. But if it gets there, it can get there, and we can take it wherever you want to go.
Oh, man, I'm too old to be fighting people now.
I'm an old nigga though.
You know how people be like, I'm too old to fight now, I'll shoot. I ain't fighting, I ain't shooting. I'm walking away. And if you got a problem after that, then I got a couple niggas to fly first class to come shoot you. I ain't doing nothing.
I got that shit too, but
I ain't want no problem, man.
you know, shit. I be going through shit.
Like
man.
he said, if it's up, it's all the way up there,
Yeah.
man. Fuck it. It's all the way up
Yeah,
there.
I told you in Arizona about seeing him again. I said, man, I heard you was talking. I gave you the fair, like, I gave you the chance to do what you were saying. So, if you ain't trying to do it now, then what are we talking about?
That's what I'm saying, though. I knew he wasn't for real after he was in old girls' DMs and when he caught me outside. Yeah. Because, like, I ain't even say nothing to that dude. When y'all was about to fight, I straight walked away. I was like, hey, he got it. He can handle himself. Yeah. So I was going to let y'all shoot the ones. And then I got involved.
Nah.
I was like, what did he say fuck me for? I was like, what did I do?
Man,
You see, I'm
telling
already
you, man.
knowing. I'm already knowing. I'm a big nigga too, so I'm gonna use everything I can. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
I'll put this statement out. I'm not fighting no nigga that's 3 inches taller than me or like wider than me.
Oh, no.
But see, I think
Ain't
that's
no
why.
way,
But I think that's why a lot of people ain't even gonna try you though.
But they
gonna-
do, and they that's where like motherfuckers be really testing. But I stay patient. I practice
Oh, yeah.
forgiveness and all that. But
no, we could move furniture. We could rearrange this motherfucker. I'll turn the lights on in the club if it come to that. I don't care how big you is. Because if I lose, I'm coming back the next week. That's how I was raised. You ain't losing. You going back, right? Where was they at? All right. Let me see what's going on.
I ain't fighting nobody, man. Peace, love, and flowers and Pomeranians, dog.
Yeah, I love Pete. Like niggas know I'm a calm nigga. I chill. But if you get me there, I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, that's why
telling you.
that's why that shit is funny. But I think like people try to test people like us, you know what I'm saying? Because they be like, man, I don't never see these niggas do nothing. Let me go see what he about. And then it's just like, bro, like move, like you better just
it's
get
just-
up. And that's what I'm saying. It's like even if you, all you got to do is stand your ground like one time before it even get to a fight, and they be like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
nah, see, don't provoke me. Don't provoke me. I'm telling you, as soon as like people really start to like try to pull my card that way, like people can say things and it won't get underneath my skin. But as soon as you start antagonizing like the thought of us like fighting and shooting a fair one, oh, I'm not I'm not waiting for us to get in a certain situation to shoot the fair one. I'm just coming at you. I'm not gonna wait on it because I'm already up. You already got me mad enough to the point. It's whatever.
Yeah, this was one nigga that I thought I was gonna have to fight like 2 years ago. I ain't gonna tell that story because he's all right. Shout out to him. I seen him recently, so
Yeah.
I ain't gonna speak on that.
No,
I'll talk about that off camera.
I've been counting. Man, I didn't fought niggas, and then we became friends after. You know what I mean? Like
I cannot readily identify.
but it's like some junior high shit. It might be over
okay.
some girl shit or something. And then we was like, nigga, why we even? But all the time, like, I never fight over women. I'm never gonna.
I'm about to say, y'all had beef with women before?
I'm never fighting over women. It was other people and their feelings about a female. And what a lot of people don't realize about them situations is the female was there too. So as much as you want to try to like come at me, you need to go at your bitch.
Right, and that's what I was about to say. As my man Mr. Hines used to say, that wasn't me. The bitch chose up.
You know what I'm saying?
The bitch chose up. Nigga,
Larry
check
said.
the bitch.
Yeah.
Don't check me, nigga. Check that bitch. Yeah, Mr. Hines was the king of that. That wasn't me. Yo, bitch chose up. And I would be like, yeah, fair. That's exactly what happened. I don't know why he mad. Y'all got anything else?
No, I think that was good, but we need to do another one, man. I like this pod.
Yeah, we can keep this one going. We can keep this one going. I'm gonna get it edited real quick.
Oh, well, unfortunately, I cannot keep it going. I gotta go. I gotta get back to the barbecue. The bitches is cooking over there.
Right now?
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm saying like we can shoot another one like not today.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
anytime.
absolutely.
New day, different outfit.
Yeah, new day, different outfit. I'll come up with some good clothes. The AC will be fixed, and we'll be right back.
Absolutely. I'm over here glistening.
All right,
Pause.
for sure. Yeah, we can end that up.